last international break until March, one England star's having to wait a little longer. Cole Palmer's going to miss a handful of games for Chelsea after stubbing his toe. Even without Palmer's input this season, the Blues have been effective. Their former defender Scott Minto wants to see more from Maresca.
Let's give him time. If we're going to be spending this money, if we're going to go down this route of youngsters and young manager as well, inexperienced, let's just let them grow organically.
Chelsea are away at Burnley tomorrow lunchtime. It's live and exclusive to talkSPORT. Meanwhile, the Premier League will start a week later than usual next season due to the World Cup. We'll also get a normal Boxing Day of football. And somehow, the first Ashes test remains in England's hands. After being skittled for 172 in Perth, Ben Stokes took 5 wickets to put the Aussies at 123 for 9 at stumps on day 1. Bryden Carsh just about got his breath back to speak to the press.
Yeah, look, obviously an unbelievable day of Test cricket. I think everyone that came to watch today was thoroughly entertained.
Play resumes in the early hours of the morning. We'll have live updates. Head to the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel for today's Following On.
talkSPORT News.
The COVID inquiry has been accused of rewriting history over claims 23,000 lives would have been saved by going into lockdown earlier, and millions of households will see their energy bills rise slightly this winter. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit, your go-to destination for quality tyres from great brands like Continental. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
A cold but bright day for many. The sunshine turns increasingly hazy. Outbreaks of rain arriving from the northwest later on.
25 years he's been doing this job, and he's just realised that you have to put headphones on when you're on the radio. It is quite staggering, really. Just plugging himself in, so putting his little headphones on.
My age, you definitely have to plug yourself in.
Yeah, blimey, I'm going to unplug you if you keep on like that, mate. The mains. Anyway, this is Paul Hawksbee. 25 years. This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Well, this afternoon, Andy, now you can hear me. What's coming up?
Coming up in the next 3 hours, we'll look back on an incredible first day in the Ashes.
Yeah.
Gareth A. Davis joins us from Miami, head of the AJ Jake Paul press conference, and Stan Collymore looks ahead to the return of the Premier League.
We'll also have more of Andy's nonsense by numbers. We'll chat to Mick Rathbone, one of the few pro footballers who became a top physio. And you'll never guess who Dublin Zoo have named a parrot after.
Oh, it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
There's all this plus the clips of the week, the Falls panel, and Croc NFL stars at Madison Square Garden. Oh no, fight.
Fight at Madison Square Garden.
It was a key word to miss out, really.
Yeah, it was.
In Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup.
Yeah, a top NFL currently injured player had a fight at Madison Square Garden earlier this week. All that and a lot more. The return of LeBron, etc. With Todd Macklin a little bit later on. But at 4 minutes past 1, it's good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sleep-deprived Andy. I think we're all a bit sleep-deprived, those of us who like cricket today, as we try to keep in touch with what was going on.
I went to bed at sort of normal time, and I set the alarm for 2:27 to see the first ball.
Yeah.
But the trouble is the first ball was at 2:20. Tremendous. So I get up, turn it on, and they're already 1-0. But because it's the Australian, because it's in the middle of the night and it's the Australian way of scoring, I thought,
yeah.
oh, okay, they won. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Pope's in, oh no.
Yeah. Well, look, you did say to me, you said when we did the show at Sixes the other day, and you've always been slightly obsessed with the former commentator Trevor Bailey. And Trevor's catchphrase was, he was what did he used to say, Andy?
I said it this morning, I said it at lunch, I said it at tea, and I'd been proved absolutely correct.
Andy did say that Crawley would get out doing that shot in the first over.
It was the most predictable thing in cricket history.
Yeah. You did make a few predictions that turned out to be right. Although our expectation was they wouldn't win the toss and bat. And apparently they were all ready to do interviews because I thought England were going to bowl if they won the toss. Even some of the players were caught out by what Ben Stokes did. So maybe it was a bit of a last-minute call, but it seems to have been the right one so far anyway, I guess.
It was, I mean, I did also say on this show that neither of these teams, to harm me, that neither of these teams can bat, and it's going to be a very low-scoring series.
Yeah.
Thus far, that's the way it is, really.
Do you think the power on that pitch is maybe quite as high as everybody was saying? They're all saying, like Alistair Cook was saying, it's a 280, 300. Do you think it is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely. It's not. I mean, Smith and Labuschagne batted quite well for a while. They in a way that you have to bat on these.
Yeah, there was a couple of partnerships taking shape, but thankfully we broke them, didn't we?
The thing is, look, they didn't do particularly well against our bowling, but you do think the preparation must be a factor. It's very hard to go from playing a sort of little 3 or 4 day game with your mates to facing Mitch Starc in the Ashes, one of the best bowlers of all time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was fantastic.
It was slightly different, and, it wasn't not in Kansas anymore.
We're going to get two angles on it today. We're going to get Brad Hogg joining us for a chat with the Aussie angle, because I think there's a few red flags for the Aussies, isn't there, Andy, from what we saw on this first day.
Yeah, no, their batting is they've got a long tail.
Looking a bit creaky, isn't it?
And it really does, if you get Smith and Labuschagne, you've pretty much got them out. So, it's good. Apparently, though, the England team, I don't know if you saw this, they won't eat duck in Australia.
They won't eat duck in Australia?
Out of superstition.
Really?
I was thinking Zach Crawley must have had duck à l'orange for breakfast.
The full daddles surprise, yeah.
Oh, never mind.
No, there's plenty of time plenty of time for him to put it right. But, fantastic work from our bowlers.
It was brilliant, though. Do you see that Cruz Beckham did a set for his friends and family that included a song called I Want to Be John Lennon? I was thinking I want to be Ben Stokes, but that's not happening either.
Just hearing Bryden Cass interviewed there, I've got to be honest.
Who knew?
As he played for Durham and Harmy knows him, I thought he came from Chesterley Street. I had no idea. I wasn't ready for that.
No, he's from
shocker.
He's from New Zealand.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's
strange accent, I know.
It sounded a bit South African to me.
And Ben Stokes is from New Zealand as well.
Yeah. It's New Zealand?
Yeah, he's from New Zealand.
Sorry, I went a bit high then. So I'm New Zealand?
Yes.
Having two on.
Hey, I've got one for you.
Yeah.
Torvill and Dean.
Oh, yeah. They're not playing in the Ashes, are they?
No, they're not. This is one that we like to do at this time of the year.
Yeah.
They turned on the Christmas lights.
Oh, yeah, love this.
But it wasn't it was at somebody's house.
Really?
Somebody's house who actually sort of, these people...
Did it go over the top?
Yeah, and then they do it for charity. You can give a contribution.
Oh, yeah, okay. Fair enough. I'll step back from that.
Oh, no, they've raised...
Or you start getting
Tony and Wendy Swift.
Well done, the Swifts.
250 grand for charity. But it was very interesting. They got Torvill and Dean to turn on the lights. Not CERN on the lights. I don't know what that is. Turn on the lights.
So who's doing your Christmas lights?
Exactly.
Because we're always big... It's like who's doing Panto round your way. But I'm interested in who's doing your Christmas lights this year. We always like to know. We'll build a bit of a list. I mean...
It'll be Biggins will be one.
You reckon Biggins will get that?
Biggins.
It's a nice gig, isn't it, if you're a celebrity? Micro or major. I mean, imagine if you're a big... I mean, I doubt if Ryan Gosling turns on the lights. Though apparently he's living in sort of Hampstead at the moment, so maybe he'll turn on the Hampstead light. But what can you offer Ryan Gosling, really, that's going to make him go down there with the mayor and
not a lot, really.
The cast of EastEnders and do it? I think it's a lot. But who's doing your lights? Do let us know. talkSPORT, big stars and maybe not so big stars. talkSPORT.com, text 81089, tweet TS8 and J 03717 223344. Callum Wilson has not given up hope of making the World Cup squad, which I think is incredibly optimistic.
Honestly, I think I've got more chance of being on the plane than he has.
That's a bit harsh. You've got to dare to dream, though, haven't you, as a player?
Yes, why not?
He can have a good season. What did he do during the international break? He went down the dump to recycle his local recycling centre. And he said, I went to the local tip. The guy there said it was the first time they'd had a footballer visit. Well, I would imagine it would. I don't think Erling Haaland goes down there and says, excuse me, mate, this is half wood, but it's metal as well. Yeah, just put it in general waste, please, mate. I mean, you just don't imagine it, do you, really? So, top stars you've seen down the tip. That's a real Charlie Baker, that is. Apologies. It's a Charlie's choice. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH&J. And who's turning on your lights? Let's scatter a few of those around this afternoon. Mick Rathbone's going to join us. Mick's written the third of his fine books, and they're always really good. Mick was a player for Blackburn Rovers and Birmingham City, etc. And then, at the end of football, became a physio. And worked with David Moyes at Everton for many years, all their top players. His books are really fascinating. Not ghosted, he writes them all himself. He's a really funny writer. His latest book is his final 100 days as a physio, and it is quite the story at Accrington Stanley. So Mick's going to join us for a chat later on. Gareth A. Davis has gone to Miami. It's a tough job. Especially in this weather over here. The AJ Jake Paul press conference.
Honestly, I wouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, any excuse to escape to the sun. And Brad Hogg's going to kick us off. Former Australian cricketer, of course. Made all formats. Brad, wouldn't he, I would have thought. So we'll have a chat with him, get his thoughts, any concerns, what he made of a pretty incredible, I think, history-making day's play. Later on, Mark Butcher, former England batsman, will be joining us for a chat to give us the England angle as well.
You'd have thought with 19 wickets falling that the pitch was a minefield, but it wasn't. It really was. It was a good pitch.
Yeah.
They had a lot of carry, but I just think it was not great batting.
So Brad Hogg up next. To get in touch this afternoon, talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J, 03717 223344. Maybe you're turning the Christmas lights on. We'd love to hear what a great honour that is. They have a big kind of symbolic switch and everybody counts down from 5, I guess. Let us know. Let's hear from Rob Edwards. He is the new Wolverhampton Wanderers manager. And we're going to hear a little bit more later on as we round up all the gaffers' press conferences over the weekend's football. Stan Collymore also joining us later. But let's hear from Rob now. Talks about the leaving of Borough.
I know I was in a great job at Middlesbrough. I know that, with really good people, very good players, and we've done well. We've done well. The lads have done well, and everyone that I was working with had done well as well, so I'm aware of it. But this was something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I didn't know if this job would ever come up again for me. The opportunity might never, ever come up for me to be able to be the head coach of this club. I didn't want to ever look back in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years and think I turned down a chance to manage Wolves in the Premier League. That's it. I didn't want to regret that. Here I am.
There we are, Rob Edwards. It's not about the quality of that.
Really convincing.
It's about the quality of the line there. We'll clean that up before we hear from Rob a little bit. I was waiting. Such was the quality of the line. I was waiting for Winston Churchill to say, and as such, Britain is at war with Germany. Or Neville Chamberlain, if you prefer. Right. Anyway, Brad Hogg kicks us off this afternoon. Former Australian cricketer, giving us his take on what went on in an incredible first day's play at the Ashes. Stan Collymore, as we said, Mark Butcher, and a parrot at Dublin Zoo has been named after one of the island players after their heroics against Hungary. Who could that possibly be? We'll reveal all, and if you need it revealing, take a long, hard look at yourself a little bit later on when we speak to the good people at Dublin Zoo. We're here with our very good friends at Toolstation. Check out Toolstation's unmissable deals. Great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation.
England won the toss and batted. England were bowled out for 172 with Mitchell Starc taking a test best 7 for 58. That's playing in his 101st test match, by the way. And then when they came out to bat, Australia found batting even more difficult. Archer with 2, Cast with 2, and then Ben Stokes only started bowling 45 minutes ago, and he's walking off with a fifer. Absolutely ridiculous cricket. Can't wait to hear Harmy's take. Stumps on day 1-8, Australia 123 for 9. They trail still by 49.
Yes, you've been working nights. You've just woken up. That pretty much sums up everything that went on. It was an absolutely nuts day's
mad
cricket.
Yeah.
What a mad start to the Ashes.
There's the tension, the pressure, and everything. There are a lot of factors.
Indeed.
Which I don't think the pitch was necessarily one of them.
Well, Brad Hogg joins us now, former Australian all-rounder. Hi, Brad.
How you going, guys? You going well? You happy over there?
Yeah, we got a little bit of a spring in our step. I'm not sure we would have said that after we batted, but I mean it's right up there, Brad, isn't it? It's just a mad day's cricket. We've had a lot of mad days cricket in recent years.
Yeah, well, look, last year we had India over here on the same wicket, probably a little greener and had more life in the wicket last year with India, and we lost 17 wickets. We didn't want that again, but as the game went on and the Barmy Army, the energy that they were bringing, everyone was just excited, and there's so much atmosphere around the ground. It's just set this Ashes series up for an absolute perler. And I must admit, I'm on the board here at the Wacker, and I was hosting some British travellers, and they were just wrapped at the end of the day's play. They were all a little bit quiet, I must admit, after England were bowled out. But they rose once Archer got that first wicket, and then Steve Smith gone. They thought they had us by the ghoulies, should I say.
It's great for Test cricket, wasn't it? 51,000 people there, so fantastic. We're going to see big attendances. So that was terrific. Stokes, though, he is amazing, isn't he? I mean, he came on. I mean, maybe one of them was a good ball. He just gets people out with bad, like both of them used to, basically with bad or not great delivery. But he's got a way of willing people out. It was brilliant.
Yeah, well, you could see the pressure on Australian batting lineup as well, and just the way they got out to Stokes' deliveries, it just wasn't good enough, really. They should have capitalised on that. But at the end of the day, it's that presence of Stokes with the ball. I think if you look at Stokes through India, he's probably the best bowler that England had. But one thing that I do like right now with England is that Harry Brook dominated Starc. He looked absolutely so comfortable out the middle. It's the best I've ever seen someone on a quick wicket. So that's an upside for England moving forward. Smith looked as though he could dominate. Pope starting to form out number 3. That's one area where I thought you were probably going to struggle a bit. And Duckett looked good there as well. So England going into their second innings, they've got to be very confident, take on the Australian attack and put on a big score, because it's a good batting surface. It didn't show today, but day 2 is going to be a lot better. And the other big plus is Atkinson. He didn't get a wicket, but I thought he was one of the better bowlers for England.
Interesting. There's a few red flags from an Australian point of view. Khawaja, from the batting point of view, maybe Boland from the bowling point of view. And there's this news that Josh Hazlewood may miss the whole series now, Brad, which is a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Hazlewood came out and said, look, I'm fully fit. I'm going to get through the whole series. And that was the day before he got injured. So you always thought there was always going to be trouble with Hazlewood. Khawaja, I'm trying to be quiet here. I don't want to give a headline piece, but, not opening the batting, going off the field when he did with back spasms and coming into the game not fully fit, that's a huge problem. You can't leave a young player, Weatherald, going out to open the batting without your frontline opener out the other end as well. So that's a big no-no for Khawaja. So there's a few headaches for us moving forward, but it's good for you guys, England over there, to get one up on us in Perth at the moment, if you keep playing well.
Have to hand it to Starc, though. Didn't he bowl brilliantly, really, considering he didn't have Cummins or Hazlewood to back him up? He was impressive.
Oh, look, he really stood up without Hazelwood or Cummins there. And look, to be honest with you, I think he's one of those players, or the best player that we've got in Australia at the present moment, with his fitness, the way that he's professional. I think our fitness in the Australian team has slightly dropped off over the last year or two, and that's something that they've got to pick up on, especially the fast bowlers. So well done to Mitchell Starc, the way that he's conducted himself.
If the tail could wag, if they could maybe put on more runs, I mean, if they put on 10, 12 or whatever, but if they go out there and put on 25, 30, mentally, that'll be a bit of a blow for England. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but we've seen that happen before in Ashes tests, haven't we?
Oh, you have, but look, if you've got Nathan Lyon going from number 11 going up to number 9, Boland and Duggett probably not the best batters. So if they put on another 10 tomorrow, England will be very disappointed. I think it'll be a quick wicket tomorrow. England get that, and I think they'll bat for a long period of time. And I'm really hoping that I see the best of Joe Root tomorrow, because it's probably the last time that I'll see him live. I saw him get out for a duck, obviously, today, but he didn't look the Joe Root of old. But I just want to see him make a big score tomorrow and put pressure on the Australians, and hopefully Australia can chase down a big total to really entertain us here at the Optus Stadium or Perth Stadium.
The chief executive won't be happy of the stadium, I wouldn't think, because we're not going to see 5 days.
I don't think we're going to see 3 days, are we?
Look, we weren't happy last year when we lost 17 wickets on the first day with India, and we're probably not happy on a financial perspective with this test match. But at the end of the day, it's keeping eyes on the TV screen. It's creating that excitement. India, England in the series that was just over there with you guys on your home turf was absolutely sensational. Went down to the fifth test match, the fifth day of that final test match. Now, if this happens in this Ashes series as well, where it goes right down to that fifth day of the fifth test match, whatever happens in this first test match doesn't matter. Just as long as people are talking, cricket's out there front and centre in the media, that's all I care about.
Brilliant. Good to talk to you, Brad. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.
Brad Hogg there over in Perth was lucky enough to be there today. And
you mentioned Pope there. I thought Pope was really unlucky. It was a terrible decision by the ump.
It wasn't great.
He was guessing, wasn't he? He must have been. It was the barest of margins, they say. It was so unlucky to be out umpire score on a
couple of interesting decisions. I mean, even the first wicket, Jofra's first wicket, they didn't give, did they?
No.
Anyway, for all your Ashes content, subscribe to the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Following on podcast is coming out every day during the Ashes series with Harmy and the gang. So go and check that out. Who's doing your Christmas lights, we're asking you today. One of the listeners we thought was having us on said, Mateus Cunha's doing our lights with Chesney from Corrie. We said, yeah, I bet he is. We looked it up and he is. That's right. That's blimey, this list has got so... There it is. Yeah, it came... Yeah, he's in Altrincham. Apparently that's
he's a local select.
That's a good name. Isn't the actor who plays Chesney a big Manchester United fan? So he'll be chuffed with that. He's 17 minus Tony and Brian doing Kidderminster Christmas lights, says Rich. It's the scattergun.
Not really the same then, is it? More like East 50.
Also they're from Walthamstow, aren't they? I mean, why are they doing Kidderminster's lights? Yeah. What else have we got here? Pete's doing our Christmas lights this year, says Robin Wakefield. That's Pete from the local pub, as we live in a small village just outside Wakefield. So beggars can't be choosers. Thank you, Rob.
Why did Pete get the honour? That's what we need to know.
Don't know. Maybe there's a pint in it for the mayor or something. Peter Andre turned on the lights in Newport, South Wales last Saturday. Obviously, before turning on the lights, Peter did a turn with a few old hits. Nothing says Christmas more than Peter singing Mysterious Girl outside Ramsden's. Ramsden's for gold in Newport High Street. Thank you very much, Andy. Who's doing your Christmas lights? Let us know. Who have you seen down the tip during the international break? Callum Wilson went down the tip, get rid of some old rubbish. I saw Stephen Presley and Gordon Strachan at Leamington tip. It's all happening in Leamington, isn't it? Discussing green waste, says Ben. What are they doing there? Anyway, we move on. Talksport.com, 789 tweet TSH and J. There's a man in football not too proud to go to the tip. Mick Rathbone joins us. He is now an ex-physio, but it's quite the story, his last 100 days in the dugout. He's going to tell us more about that. It's all in his third book. And Mick, the former Everton physio, and Blackburn Rovers player joining us for a chat next.
England is somehow in control at the end of day one in the Ashes. It looked to be the same old England as they were bowled out for just 172 runs, but they reduced Australia to 123 for 9, giving them a lead of 49 runs at the close of play. Elsewhere today, it happens to the best of us, but Cole Palmer's going to be missing the next 3 games after stubbing his little toe. And so Maresca has given us this update.
Unfortunately, he had an accident at home 2 days ago. He obviously hit his toe, but it's nothing important. But for sure, he's not back next week.
Palmer's been out with a groin injury since the end of September. Chelsea-Burnley is the early kick-off tomorrow, which is live and exclusive on talkSPORT. And Premier League clubs have voted against a spending cap, but they have voted for a new system of squad cost ratio, which means PSL will effectively no longer exist from next season. Clubs will only be able to spend 85% of their annual football revenue on players' wages and transfer fees. Here's talkSPORT's Alex Crook.
I'm told that Manchester United and Manchester City in particular were pushing for this, and you can understand why, because United may have not had a lot to shout about on the pitch in recent seasons, but they continue to be a very profitable organisation. So clearly 85% of their revenue is a lot bigger than, say, Bournemouth's.
Those new rules will come in at the start of next season. There's more at talksport.com.
Now, thanks to our friends at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, we're giving you and a friend the chance to win the ultimate trip of a lifetime to Las Vegas.
Lovely.
Picture this, you and your best mate flying upper class from London to Vegas, checking into a luxury spa villa for 4 incredible nights at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. Cheering from the stands as the stop sound Las Vegas as the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And top it all off, £5,000 in cash to play with in, yes, you've guessed it, Las Vegas. So clear your calendar from the 2nd to the 7th of January 2026 because nothing starts the new year like Vegas. Good luck.
21 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Couldn't they have just slung in one glitzy Nevada
showbiz
destination?
Showbiz and gambling mecca.
Yeah, just honestly, put your backs into it.
Come on.
Stop saying Vegas. Anyway, more importantly, Mick Rathbone is back. He joined us. He's joined us, I think, for both his books. This is Volume 3, The Smell of Football. Mick was a fine player in his youth and then became a physio. Not many people have made that transition. His third book, I mean, his career has kind of been covered by the first two. The third book just covers 100 days, his final 100 days, it seems, in the dugout as a physio at Accrington. And Mick rejoins us. Good afternoon, Mick.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. Yeah, we enjoyed your first 2 books. I think you're a good writer. I mean, I'm sure they've been, because these aren't ghosted. This is all your own work, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really proud. And why did I do it? I think because people said that only 1 in 100 manuscripts will ever get published or see the light of day. So I guess I wanted to prove I could do it. And as I say, I wrote every single word myself, even the bad swear words.
Yeah. So 100 days, your final 100 days. And in some ways, I almost don't want to give the ending away, but it feels like we should talk about it. I'll let you lead us on that. But it is just the story of maybe in some ways the way football has changed in all the years you've been involved as player and physio, and certainly the role of the physio maybe, and how it differs at different levels, because you've been at the very top at Everton with David Moyes, and in maybe down in League Two it's different.
It is different. It's easier but more difficult in different ways, as you can imagine. The book I've just wrote, I wasn't even going to write it. I was going to do a kind of vague diary of a season. I wrote a couple of lines every night and it was all very, very vague. And then, as you said, the last kind of 10 days was quite incredible. And then when I thought back and sat back and I thought, you know what? I've been at this club exactly 100 days and mainly enjoyed every bit of it. They were so good to me. But I thought this would make a good story. And I think, as you say, it's a little bit of a metaphor for the way football has changed over the years, kind of encompassed in those 100 days.
I was interested in the relationship between the physio and the medical department and the manager, because it's often in conflict, isn't it?
Yeah, but I got good at giving bad news because every day I go up to the manager and I just give him bad news, don't I? So you're that person. And when I first started being a physio, I was quite reticent and somewhat nervous to bang on the door. And I'd kind of go in half bent double and sorry, guess what? It's bad news. Then when I got older and reflected, I never injured the players, none of them. They got injured in training. Obviously, when I was a player, I injured a few players. But as a physio, I never injured a player. So I became very, very good at just going in, give them the news, closing the door. If they want to scream and throw things at the wall, then that's okay. So I became, as I got older, better and more detached from it all.
It must be hard, though, making it, because your star player's out, manager's fighting for his life, could lose his job, lose his livelihood any minute, certainly lower down the food chain. And you got to be the one who goes in there and they say, what do you reckon, Mick? And you say, probably about another 3 or 4 weeks. And that's the last thing they want to hear, isn't it?
It is. And, interesting, that's what happened at Accrington in the third book. We had, virtually no injuries. We had one long-term injury, but the long-term injury, we couldn't understand what it was. We couldn't find out what it was. When I say we, that's British medical team all over, scans and everything. And this was our best player and it was our main player. And even though we only had one player injured, it was really, really costing the team. And the team couldn't win a game and it was bad and we were struggling. And the manager and the assistant were top blokes and good at their jobs. But this one player And I say in the book, with the greatest respect, you can have 9 players injured if they're fringe players. But we had 1 player injured, but that 1 player was costing us so much. So it does become difficult. And we are human, and we want to win, and we want to support the manager and that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other things. What about the kind of facilities and the finances at different levels? You know, you probably got everything you want at a club like Everton at the top level, but as you move down the leagues, if you're in a League Two club, you know, are they a bit more sparse? Is it more difficult? Is the technology maybe not there?
It's a lot less. So obviously I worked at Finch Farm, I worked at Callington, they've got swimming pools, they've got everything you could ever want. But you know what, lower down, I've worked for the last couple of years exclusively in League Two as a kind of locum. I've worked for about 9 different clubs in the last 3 years. And the facilities lower down, I've just done 6 weeks at Harrogate. They've got good facilities. Accrington in particular, which the book's about, have got really, really good facilities. They've got great training surfaces, close to the stadium. So there is a net improvement over the years, there's no doubt about that. But as you say, it is worlds apart.
And you encounter trialists along the way down at that level. People, this is probably their last tilt at getting a contract and making it as a player or staying in the game. And, you know, some of those boys are carrying injuries, and you kind of witness that firsthand. You write about that in the book, Mick, as well.
That's a great sadness. I went in on my first or second day, and there's 8 rolled up kits or 7 rolled up kits, and these are for the trialists. So if it's pre-season and you're on trial at a League Two club, then, you know, to coin a phrase, you're drinking in the last kind of chance saloon. And a lot of these players have played at a higher level, and they're where they are now, kind of clinging onto the full-time game for the variety of maybe the manager didn't like them, injuries, a little bit of loss of form at crucial times. They're not bad players, but they are where they are. And the great sadness was, you know, we make them sign a form on day one to say, look, I know things are bad, but if you do get injured, we can't really be spending a lot of money on you. So it's a kind of almost a slap in the face. And then in particular, one of the lads trained the first day. Then the second day he came to see me with a badly bruised heel. He said, look, he said, I need to get through training today. I said, look, son, I said, you can't train with that. He said, Baz, he said, this is my last chance. I've got to try and train. He had some brand new boots. I said, look, I'll tell you what I could possibly do. It's not funny. If I take a scalpel and cut the heel out of your brand new boot, you might get away with it, but that's ruining a brand new pair of boots. He said, Baz, do it. I have to train today. Wow. It's my last chance. Anyway, I cut a massive hole in the back of his brand new boots. Didn't make any difference. He hobbled out. He tried to warm up. He came back in, almost tears in his eyes. Wow. He lived a long way away. It wasn't viable for keep travelling in. We talked about it being 3 or 4 weeks. He drove away, limping, with a big hole in his brand new boot. I never saw the lad again. I hope he's okay. I hope he's at a club. Yeah. I think maybe he's not. And as I say, that's the other sign. And we've all seen the documentaries. I don't know, is it Footballers' Wives and the Premier Wives and that? Like, we've all seen that. And we've seen their lifestyles. But for every one of them, there's 100 of these guys. And that's the kind of football we don't really see and we don't really understand. And a lot of people who maybe watch only exclusively Premier League football, I don't think they would probably understand just how damn difficult it is lower down in League Two.
I mean, it's part of the role of the physio, sort of pastoral as well. You've talked before about you worked under Alf Ramsey when he was the Birmingham manager, and you were there as a kid, and you kind of fell out of love with football. You found it quite difficult. You said it was a bit of a bullying culture. It was a very difficult place to be. And you probably see that in other young lads you have along the way. Not the bullying, but essentially feeling a bit lost, feeling like maybe the game isn't for them. It must be quite... But you've experienced it. Maybe you can help them there, Mick.
I hated it as a young player at Birmingham, top division, teenager, playing in front of my own people, my own public and that, playing bad, getting a lot of stick, the phone-ins, horrific, really bad times for me. So I think, you know, everything happens for a reason. And all that suffering I endured as a 17, 18, 19-year-old made me a better person. It made me hugely empathetic. It made me care a lot about those people we just described, these trialists and that. So even though it was tough for me, it made me a better person. And as you say, if you're doing the job properly as a physio, it's a huge pastoral role. And I think I say in the book, times are changing. There's a lot more pressure on everybody through a variety of reasons. We want people to talk about it. I was a physio for 30 years, I encountered zero mental health issues. In the last 2 years, I was involved in 3 pretty significant ones that, touch wood, we got everybody, the right people involved early on, and everything turned out okay. Are people talking about it more, or is it happening more? I don't know the answer to that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that of interest is you're very upfront about the role of luck as a physio, because everybody thinks if everything's going well, no one's getting injured, you're a genius. You and your medical department. Get a few injuries and get them out the door. They don't know what they're doing. But you've been on, you said you had a spell at Everton where you didn't have any injuries, and they you were the top man. But then you get some injuries, and they're all looking at you. So luck does play a big part in your eyes.
I always say that. And when I first went to Everton, it had a reputation being an injured club, and I got loads and loads of credit for turning it round as much as David did from the managerial point of view. And we finished 7th the first season, despite being relegation favourites. And I was interviewed at length and told what a great job I'd done in turning the club round. And I said, luck plays a huge part in injuries. And they were like, oh my, what a guy, modest too, and that. I said, look, when we have this season from hell, will you please remember this conversation? My 8th season at Everton, every time I look round, somebody was limping in with a different injury, and people are unforgiving. And now social media is a big part of it. People are saying on social media, funnily, it weren't funny at the time, we played at AEK Athens away in this season of millions of injuries. And me and the doc in the afternoon after training, we walked from the hotel to the Acropolis, and there were a load of Everton's fans there, and they turned on us and they said, hey, you should be in the hotel getting these lads fit, not effing sightseeing. So it really happened, and that's what it's like. And that, I mean, to be fair, I turned and went back to the hotel. I think the doc gave my mouthful back, but it is very, very visible. And social media is great. I use it. I sell my books on it. But as well as I do, guys, the other side of social media, it's not nice to be on the other side of social media. And unfortunately, I have been a couple of times after games.
Yeah. And just finally, Mick, last time we spoke to you, I think you were done, but you got pulled back in again to do a short-term job. Something happens at the end of this book that makes you feel you're never going to go back and do it again. Is that still the case?
I'll never do another professional game. I believe everything happens for a reason. What happened on day 98, nobody's fault, just the perfect storm of pressure, bad results, people struggling, and the last minute of a vital game and crucial calls and players sitting down with an injury and all that kind of stuff. It created the perfect storm. But you know what? I've had 50 years in football, half a century. So when I left school in 75, if somebody said to me, you'll still be working in 25, the phone never stops ringing. There's not many physios about. I said at the end of the season before last, no more. Then I said after Accrington, no more. Then I went to Salford. I've done 6 weeks at Harrogate Town. Loved every minute of it. I'm proud and humbled that people would ask at my age. I'm 67 now. I'm sat by the phone now. I know that phone's going to ring in a day or an hour or a couple of weeks, and I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say yes because I love it. I'm going to say yes because I want it, and I'm going to say yes mainly because I'm humbled that people would still want me to do that. And I don't care. I've had MR on a Man U shirt, MR on an Everton shirt, an England shirt. Last week I was running around in Rothwell in Leeds with MR on a Harrogate shirt, and just as proud.
Brilliant. Lovely to talk to you, Mick. It's a really entertaining book once again. We wish you well with it. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for having me on. Really appreciate it, guys.
Mick Rathbone's book, The Smell of Football 3, 100 Days in the Dugout. Get the full story of what happened in the Accrington game. It's pretty troubling stuff, but go and check it out. Mick's books are really, really entertaining. Some great stories in a lovely Christmas present. Published by Pitch, out now. Gareth A. Davis joins us next. He's over in Miami for the AJ versus Jake Paul press conference. We'll catch up with him shortly. Michael Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT over in Miami. They're going to be having the Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul press conference a little bit later on. Gareth A. Davis finds himself in that part of the world. And he's covering something else as well, which he'll tell us about. And he got kind of in the middle of it. We'll show you that if you're watching on YouTube. But Gareth joins us now. Good afternoon, Gareth.
Very good morning to you from 24 degrees in Miami. I don't know if you can see me, but whether the internet's slow, but it's lovely here, and I'm doing my best impersonation of Miami Vice.
You are. You're looking very Don Johnson
Tremendous
at the moment.
With that background.
Yeah, it's a bit chillier here, Gareth. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what gets said today. I read your piece about it. I think I'm of a similar mind. I don't think this is a particularly good look for boxing. I mean, what are you expecting questions like that to come up during the press conference?
Yeah, it's been fascinating, hasn't it? I think the interest is enormous for this because it's so bizarre with a brilliant, dangerous current heavyweight facing Jake Paul, who is really not equivalent to an area champion as a cruiserweight. And the interest's been enormous, but it just seems a very odd matchup, and it's a proper boxing match. So there's going to be a lot of interest today. Apparently, the media turnout is enormous at the Caseo Arena later. I'm heading there in a couple of hours' time. Fascinated to ask Anthony Joshua some questions, because really, so far, all we've really heard from is Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith on it.
Yeah, it's all about the money. I mean, it's obviously all about the money because it can't be about the fight because he'll win easily, or he carries him for 8 rounds and, you know, goes easy on him, which is unedifying as well. The whole thing is unedifying. I can't see how it isn't.
In defence of AJ, I've read a couple of
17 million. That's what.
Well, I've read a couple of suggestions that he doesn't do a lot of work charity-wise in his local community, and he sees the opportunity to get this much money fairly easily as a bit of a force for good.
Yeah, listen, there's no question about things like that. I remember him employing an officer, if you like, an individual to run that entire thing for him at one point. There's no doubt that he is a man given to generosity. It's very hard for him to say no to this if he didn't want the money, but he wants the money, and you can't get away from that. It's a big money heist. He ought to put Jake Paul away quicker, or maybe has to put Jake Paul away quicker than he did Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds. And that was the former UFC heavyweight champion we were talking about there. So it's a lose-lose for him unless he decides to play the game with as he calls himself, El Gallo de Dorado, the golden cock, the golden cockerel, the problem child. He'll be wearing his... The problem for Joshua is that Jake Paul is such a bizarre marketeer that he might be trying to embarrass him in the build-up. Thankfully for him, it's only a month before we actually see this fight here. So it's a very peculiar event. I'm glad to be here and witness it. I hope I get some words both at the press conference and in a room with Anthony Joshua. I hope get some time with him. Just try and get his thinking on this. Because in many ways, I think there's a lot of pressure on him, weirdly, because there's so much interest. I mean, it's exploded since it was announced, because it's anomalous in many, many ways.
Yeah. There's a danger, though, Gareth, and if he damages him badly.
Exactly.
That will be bad for him, bad for the sport, and probably the end of YouTube boxing as we know it. So.
Yeah, look, people want to see him. I think a lot of people who like boxing want to see Jake Paul put in his place, but no one wants to see him really hurt, do they? And Anthony Joshua, with his power, has got, could really hurt him.
Oh, I think he's going to hurt him if he hits him. I don't think there's much question about that. But I don't think it's going to be an 8-round. It's 8 3-minute rounds with 10-ounce gloves, which this is the big puncher with the tiny gloves. So all the jeopardy's there. But I suspect if Anthony Joshua hurts Jake Paul, the referee would stop in very quickly, and I can see him getting stopped on the ropes. I can't see an 8-round demolition and dismantling, because he's not good enough or kind of accustomed enough to take that from a heavyweight. I'd hate to see that. I think if it's stopped, it'll be stopped very quickly. It depends whether Joshua goes for it or not, and hammers him out of there quickly. As I say, that you've got the targets of quicker than 2 rounds, which he did against Francis Ngannou, and then there's this weird scenario. What if AJ turns an ankle? What if he trips in the ring? What if something weird happens? What if Jake Paul catches him playing possum on the ropes and cracks the chin? Don't you remember how shocked we were when, as I say, Francis Ngannou, former UFC heavyweight champion, when he dropped Tyson Fury in their fight in Riyadh at the Battle of the Baddest? It sent shockwaves around the world. So you've got to commend Jake Paul's cojones, the golden cockerel as he is. But at the same time, it's just, I'm glad I'm here to witness it. It's just one of those bizarre moments. It's like Muhammad Ali against Antonio Inoki, the wrestler years ago. You never expected the great Muhammad Ali to step into a ring in Japan and do that.
Just very quickly, you mentioned Tyson Fury there. The word is that it'll be Tyson Fury at Wembley next year for Anthony Joshua. But, I mean, he's going to need a proper fight in between, isn't he, really? He's going to need a proper warm-up fight, you would think.
Yeah, they're looking at February, is my understanding, against a top, say, 50 heavyweight, because this isn't a warm-up fight. This is a circus act. This is a freak show. So this is a money grab, and it's nothing more than that. So I think both Fury and Joshua get in the ring and have a warm-up fight, if you like, which I don't like. I think they should just be fighting each other, and then they'll meet in September. We understand.
Now, we're going to just show those who are watching on YouTube or Connect TV how you got between a pair of bare-knuckle boxes. You're over there for an event. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun, Gareth. We're going to let people you can talk us through what you found yourself in between them doing an interview, and it all kicked off. They started windmilling, didn't they?
Well, it was Fuentes and Fernandez, a Mexican and a Cuban. A lot of talking. It was my fault, if I'm honest, because as I say, the fight is now lit there. It was my fault because one guy, the Cuban, was giving it this, and Fernandez, I said to Fernandez, he's a big talker. He's talking too much, really, isn't he? He's talking too much. You know what? He needs to do his talking in the BKB Four Kings event, the bare knuckle event that's live on talkSPORT YouTube channel on Saturday night. And then suddenly they just squared up and started pushing each other. Lucas Brown, Big Daddy Brown, who's fighting for the heavyweight title against Gustavo Trujillo. You can see it. He jumps here, the big, bald Australian man. We were arguing about his Lucas and just going in there as well with the green jacket on. There he is. There's Lucas Brown, David, the CEO. Not sure about whether he was pleased with that or not, but it was my fault, if I'm honest. I was just stirring the pot.
We're going to hear from you later, I'm sure, after the press conference this evening on talkSPORT. Cheers, Gareth. We'll catch up with you soon.
Always a pleasure, gents. Cheers.
There we are. There's Gareth A. Davis there over in Miami, and there'll be more fallout, I'm sure, from that press conference. It'll be very interesting.
It's another unedifying thing, isn't it? Bare knuckle boxing.
Well, funny enough, we've had a couple
with Stephen Graham.
We've had a couple of the guys in.
1890s. The
stats on it, though, are interesting. Bare knuckle doesn't do the damage that the gloves do in terms of the kind of pounding of it. I mean, you get more blood simply because there's more cuts. I mean, I find it a bit of a difficult watch, but the stats and the numbers sort of are slightly different. Anyway, talking of boxing, this Saturday 4 world titles in 4 weight divisions. Tonight, champions is David Monster Benavidez. And that's not right, is it? I'm doing an Alan. Benavidez. I do apologise if you're listening, David. Like, of course he is. Takes on Anthony Yard for the WBC World Light Heavyweight title, featuring Devin Haney, Bam Rodriguez. Watch live this Saturday, only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
going to focus on the North London derby, a man who's covered both clubs over the years. Mark Butcher joining us to keep the Ashes chat going. Stan Collymore with some of the big talking points ahead of the return of the Premier League. And then the Falls panel will run through the Falls panel games after Tom Clayton with the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. Premier League clubs have voted against a spending cap. It means under the new SRC rules being brought in next season, clubs will only be able to spend 85% of their annual football revenue on player wages and transfer fees. Plus, they'll have an extra 30% of leeway. Here's talkSPORT's Alex Crook.
So I'm told that Manchester United and Manchester City in particular were pushing for this, and you can understand why, because United may have not had a lot to shout about on the pitch in recent seasons, but they continue to be a very profitable organisation. So clearly 85% of their revenue is a lot bigger than, say, Bournemouth.
Elsewhere, the Premier League is back tomorrow, and Pep Guardiola says the season is just getting started.
We are in November, and in November in this league nothing defined. So what happened in February, March, be careful. But now start the season really, right?
Now, poor old Cole Palmer. He stubbed his toe, bless him.
Unfortunately, he had an accident at home 2 days ago. He hit his toe, but it's nothing important. But for sure, he's not back next week.
He'll miss at least 3 games, including tomorrow lunchtime's talkSPORT's exclusive away at Burnley. Meanwhile, the Premier League will start a week later than usual next season due to the World Cup. We'll also get a normal Boxing Day of football. And Bryden Cart says Ben Stokes managed the team just right on day one of the first Ashes test.
Stokes, he kept it quite simple, and he said we got 50 minutes before tea, and I thought the way that Gus and Jofra started was phenomenal, and we carried that into the afternoon session.
Well, despite being bowled out for 172, England then reduced Australia to 123 for 9 at stumps. Get the reaction with today's following on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
talkSPORT News.
The former leader of Reform UK in Wales has been jailed for making pro-Russian statements for money, and millions of households will see their energy bills rise slightly this winter. More from the news team at past.
Talk.
Hawksbee and Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Coming up, Stan Collymore joins us. Mark Butcher will be joining us, give us an England perspective on the Ashes. We spoke to Brad Hogg, their all-rounder, a little bit earlier on. But before that, we're going to have a little focus on this weekend's North London derby.
It is one of English football's iconic fixtures.
And Lennon has equalised!
Magical game. Everybody knows.
Theo Walcott through the centre. He's going to beat the goalkeeper for a second time. Is he? Yes, he is! 5 goals they've scored after going 2-0 down.
Probably the nicest game of the season to watch and to play.
A moment of absolute magic from Harry Kane.
Drama aplenty.
This is going to be absolutely massive.
This is the North London derby.
Trossard, can he get the shot in? He does!
They've been outstanding so far this season.
They can't maintain this level of impregnability.
Christian Romero, Polina!
Concerns me this weekend, Spurs' away form.
Tottenham fans are already asking whether Thomas Frank is a little bit too pragmatic.
Very aware that we haven't been free-floating.
It is a feisty derby, a test of credentials.
This is something that is in our hands.
Yes, fascinating game which could be shaped by the players that are fit and those that aren't. Joining us in the studio now is the co-author of a new book on Arsenal, but to be fair to him, he's written an awful lot about Spurs as well. He's a man with foot in both camps. You don't get many of those. Arsenal on the Edge is the book. It's the story of the 24-25 season by Kevin Witcher, and with us, Alex Finn. Good afternoon, Alex.
Thank you very much, Paul.
I set your credentials out there. You have written about both clubs and have known a lot of the personalities from both clubs and been involved with both clubs, haven't you?
I've worked for both clubs.
Yeah.
And in fact, I helped Arsenal with regard to the Premier League, and Tottenham with regard to the first television commercial ever for a football club.
Oh, wow. So you got a soft spot for both?
Absolutely. I can't understand fans who would cut off their nose to spite their face, and rather their own team lost than the rivals won. I just can't understand that.
Well, it's hate watching, isn't it? That's a big part of being a football fan.
As you've written, let's just touch on the book first, because everything that went on last season, they seem to have learnt from this season. You know, that greater depth in the squad. Everybody, from the hierarchy and everybody down to the manager. So, and they are looking pretty well set at the moment, aren't they?
They are indeed. They could have learned the lesson a bit earlier. The missing striker was obvious and needed to be addressed in the summer, and if not in the summer, then certainly in the winter. However, what has been a significant change is the view of the owners. Originally, they just believed in sustainability, and they've now gone over to ambition. They appointed and backed a novice manager who's become an elite manager, and that is where, for example, Arsenal are ahead of Spurs. Although Spurs now have a good manager, but it will take Thomas Frank a year or two to catch up.
We don't know. Arsenal have been building. There's no question about it.
They have.
They're under Arteta the last 2 or 3 years, and it's been not surprising.
But there were a few occasions, Alex, when he could have gone. You know, there were fans out there who felt that he wasn't quite up to the job, but they've kept faith, and that faith has paid off.
And credit to them, particularly with regard to the way that social media and pundits have suggested, for example, forgive me, Paul, but that Tottenham had a more successful season because they won a second-rate European trophy than Arsenal. 18 clubs in the Premier League, 32 clubs in the Champions League would give their right arm for such a so-called unsuccessful season. And as the game's all about money, Arsenal were 70 million to the good over Tottenham, which they've actually reinvested, and they were the biggest net spenders in the last transfer window. So now they have two teams. They have been beset by injuries this season, but unlike last season, they've got ready-made replacements.
Yeah. I mean, they've still got key players with the Mick Rathbone, the physio, and he's saying, you know, you can have 7 players injured. They don't really count. But say if Declan Rice gets injured, that's absolutely. They haven't got anybody that can replace him.
I mean, you count Gabriel as one of those, wouldn't you? If you were going to pick 3 players that you didn't want injured, Gabriel would be one of them, and they're going to be missing him. But they've got more cover now with Nketiah and Mosquera, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
What is important is the spine of the team. So the centre half has gone, but the goalkeeper's still there, and they do have a replacement centre forward. But nevertheless, they're not at their best. And Gyökeres is not Haaland.
No.
I feel that
he's made a difference though to them. He does something that makes them more difficult to play against.
Exactly. He's given them another option. But he's got to get 20 goals a season.
We don't know yet whether it's not.
Is he fit for Sunday?
Who's that?
Gyökeres.
I'm not sure he was. We're waiting to hear from Mikel Arteta in detail. We've heard a bit from Thomas Frank today, and from a Spurs point of view, it looks like Kudus, Bergvall, Archie Gray, Cullen Moani probably playing in a mask are all going to be fit. They're all going to be out there and fit to play.
Yeah, but what about Solanke?
I know Solanke.
Exactly, and that Spurs are missing a striker.
Sure.
Yeah, they do
desperately.
Well, they'll put Richarlison up there to S-House, I would imagine.
The difference,
wind up Saliba.
I mean, Spurs would be nowhere if it wasn't for their away form. Their away form has been phenomenal. Their home form has been ridiculously poor, but their away form is strong, and that must give them something going into this game.
I would think so, although, if you ask me what I wanted to happen, I would say a 4-4 draw. But what I think will happen, well, it's happened before.
Yeah, but not under Thomas Frank.
No, but what I think will happen is a home win, I'm afraid.
Okay, it's interesting. Well, I mean, as I said, I'd rather be playing them away, but I'm fully aware of the fact that such is the depth in the squad now. Whereas in the past, you'd have key players missing at Arsenal, and you'd see the gaps. Now you don't really see the gaps, and I think that's a big difference.
Their next 2 games, Arsenal, are really going to say something about them. Spurs, and then they've got Chelsea away. Yeah. If they win both of those games, I think they're pretty.
Well, don't forget Bayern Munich.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I'm talking about in terms.
I know.
In terms of the Premier League, which is really, it'd be wonderful if they won the Champions League for Arsenal fans. But let's be honest, it's a long time since they won the Premier League, and that's got to be their priority. I would have thought.
Well, it's the priority for every English club, really, because it gives you the money and it also gets you into Europe. So it's a double win.
It'll be interesting to see if, say that it's not the new ownership, it's the same ownership, but without Daniel Levy, and there's this talk of this £100 million to spend on players. If they show the sort of ambition that, as you said, Alex, that Arsenal have shown and have said, OK, we will go out and spend £105 million on a midfielder because we think he's the best in the business that's available. So, but Tottenham have never really done that.
They won't be doing that.
Well, they did it many, many years ago, under Bill Nicholson. They were the big spenders, So and the double team set a bar which has never, ever been reached since, which is a shame. With regard to the owners, they have changed. Well, first of all, Joe Lewis has been pardoned by
That's right,
Donald
yeah,
Trump.
maybe he'll come back.
Well, but it's the family.
Yeah.
Particularly his daughter Vivian, who is a Tottenham fan and actually has a different view than Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy just believed in making it a profit organisation rather than a successful football club. And I have to say, meeting him when he first took over, what struck me was he understood Arsenal's culture, but not necessarily Tottenham's.
That's interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
They've got to solve that home form, though. You can't win 3 games.
No, exactly.
I'll take the draw now. It takes me back to the playground every time. It's like a trip to the dentist for me, this game, Alex. Twice a year, it's like going to the dentist. My 6 monthly checkups. Arsenal on the edge of the dramatic story of the 24-25 season by Alex Finn and Kevin Witcher. Is it out now?
It's out now, and it's doing reasonably well at Waterstones, but it needs to kick up the behind at Amazon,
proverbial.
which you've given it. Thank you
Brilliant.
both so much.
You can find it at Amazon with all good books. The Arsenal fans would like to relive last year, I say, because it is the springboard for this year, really.
Well, very briefly, Arsenal fans believe what the social media said, that they don't really want to read about last season too much, although there are so many lessons in there and such high spots like thrashing Real Madrid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. So thank you, Alex. Thanks for popping in.
It's my pleasure, and thank you both very much. You do a great service.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you. Clips of the week to come later on. Tom Macklin joins us, Stan Collymore, but up next, it's former England batsman Mark Butcher to reflect on a fairly crazy day at the Ashes. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. You can check out Toolstation's unmissable deals. Great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation. Got a Falls panel for you at 2:45 today. Ian Danter will join us, and Stan Collymore, and you, hopefully. These are the games we're covering. Just got to predict the scores. We'll call us now. We'll call you back in around half an hour. 03717 22 3344. Burnley, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Manchester United, Everton. Just like you to predict the scores of those games. 03717 22 3344. Look forward to chatting to you a little bit later on. Give us a call now. We're going to return to the Ashes. Steve Harmison, double Ashes winner, joined John Norman on a Following On podcast to look back on a pretty incredible first day at the Ashes. Australia closing 123 for 9 in response to England's 172 all out. This is what Harmy had to say on the day's play.
People set their alarms at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't go to bed. I stayed up. And it was one of them ones where normally you get a lull in the sort of afternoon period where if you have stayed up all night, you're sort of nodding off. You've got the nodding dog on. And similar, if you're getting up, you're really, really tired. At not one point did I feel as though I was going to fall asleep. Not one point did I feel as though the game was starting to sort of meander. It was absolutely gripping from literally the first ball to the last ball, the wicket of Zach Crawley to the wicket of Scott Boland. So from that point of view, no. I don't think we've seen too many Ashes days like that, never mind the first day.
There are Steve Harmison.
It was incredible.
It was. Let's get the thoughts of England Ashes batsman Mark Butcher. Good afternoon, Butch.
Afternoon, gents. How are you?
It was just
What's happened to batting,
It was just nuts, wasn't it?
Oh, man. Well, listen, I thought in the lead up to it that the game would be low scoring and that it might be a quick game. I didn't think it'd be quite as quick or as low scoring as this. From the very beginning, sort of England deciding to go in with the 5 quicks, I kind of felt in the lead up to it that the lower order, scoring a few runs down at the bottom of the order might end up making more of a difference than having the extra quick bowler. Because, if 4 fast bowlers can't bowl a team out on a flyer, then 5 won't make a massive amount of difference. So, I mean, at the moment, England are perfect. They've picked 5. They've got Australia 9 down. They've got a lead of 50, and they're in the box seat. Really, I mean, a lead of 50 in a game like this would be absolute gold dust if they mop the things up tomorrow morning. They're in a great position. They have to go out and bat against Stark and those boys again. I mean, thank goodness Cummins and Hazelwood aren't playing on that pitch, but they've got an incredible chance to take a 1-0 lead in this series.
The way Stokes used himself was really interesting, I thought, because that's why he's Ben Stokes. Because I'm thinking the trouble with having 4 bowlers is Stokes isn't bowling when he should be bowling. He's waiting for these 4. But actually, it worked in his favour as usual, and he managed to get a 5 in about 10 minutes. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah. 5 in 6 overs. Yeah. I mean, there's the choice you make if he's the captain. Had he not had another fast bowler in there, he might have bowled earlier, and who knows, they might have been batting before the close. But the decisions they've made, they'll stand by, and at the moment they're in a fantastic position. What is not up for debate is that you had the feeling before this series started that pretty much anything could happen. I refuse to give a prediction for the series because I honestly don't know. I cannot tell you. There is so much potency in England's bowlers. And they've got so many match winners with the bat. I mean, Brooks 50 in almost even time was incredible. Smith making 33 off 22 could be pivotal. I mean, we're talking about tiny little scores here, but when the scores overall are so low, they could make a massive difference. So England are very, very capable of causing a massive upset here. And what a place it would be to start in the first one.
A couple of things from the batting. First, Zach Crawley getting out as Zach Crawley often gets out. And
did anybody surprised at that?
I mean, we're kind of joking about it because it ultimately may not matter, but it is a concern, isn't it? I mean, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy now, and obviously they bowl to him like that, and they expect him to do what he does.
Well, yeah, I've kind of given up debating Zach Crawley's sort of either his position in the team or his style of play or whatever, because it makes no difference. He gets picked, he plays. And who knows, he might go out there and blaze a quick 40 or 50 in the second innings and give England a huge buffer towards winning the Test match, in which case he plays in the next one. So it's become their backing of him has made all discussion around the way he plays, the way he gets out, how many runs he scores, how many runs he doesn't score. It makes it completely superfluous, really. There's no point in discussing it.
No, they're going to.
So let's just they will pick him. And honestly, if they go 1-0 up in the series, they won't see a need to change a thing.
And there'll probably be a game where him and Duckett put on about 200 or something.
Yeah,
the
that's
difference.
true.
But what I was fascinated by was the different approach that each team had to batting. England ridiculously turned out in 32 overs, but when Smith and Labuschagne were there, they looked like they were doing proper Test match batting, but that didn't work either.
No, I mean, and again, I think that's the calculation that Stokes and McCullum make, particularly on pitches like this. They're not all going to be like this. Brisbane might be spicy because of the day-night and the pink ball nature of the second Test. But in these games whereby you've got a ball with your name on it at some point, where the bowlers are going to be very much on top. England's approach is as good as any. It's just sitting there and not moving the scoreboard forward might look nice, and you might sort of get out in a more palatable way for people. But the fact of the matter is, you've got out and you haven't scored any runs. So the game, you haven't helped your team in any way by sticking around longer and blocking it. So I think this is what makes England such a dangerous team, particularly if the pitches have got lots of spice in them, because their bowlers are incredible. I really wouldn't have fancied batting out there today, especially not at 53.
Well, you're not far off a Khawaja.
It was relentless pace and bounce and movement. So when you have that in your locker as your bowling attack, it makes you very, very dangerous when the game is accelerated to the extent that it is at the moment.
You mentioned your age there, Butch. I mean, 30, was he 39, Khawaja, isn't he? And there was a bit of a feeling, some of the Aussie pundits saying afterwards, maybe this feels like a Test too far. He's never great against pace, and he kind of showed his age, everything that went on around being timed out. I mean, you wonder, depending on what happens in this Test, and let's hope England go all the way and win it, whether the Aussie selectors will be looking at a couple of changes.
But maybe. I mean, it's possible. I think they might look at the Perth Test in particular on this surface as a bit of an outlier. But yeah, I mean, they've been very reticent to sort of bring in the new players anyway. I mean, they gave Weatherald a debut, and they had to be sort of coaxed into doing that. So I think the feeling is that they don't necessarily have a massive amount of trust in the guys who are coming up behind them. Constas would have been an interesting player on this pitch, because he's a guy who plays like Brook, and Crawley comes out and tries to smoke it from ball one. And again, on a low-scoring game, somebody comes off for 30 or 40 balls, and that can be the difference between winning or losing the Test. So, maybe that would have been a better option for them. But let's wait and see what happens at the end of the game.
Butch, good to talk to you as always. Appreciate your time. Thanks very much. That's Mark Butcher there, the former England batsman. I suppose
it's
the thing...
completely unpredictable.
It is.
Absolutely no idea how it's going to go, this Test.
Because depending on if England are batting within half an hour, 20 minutes tomorrow, they could put on a lot of runs quite quickly. But then Australia would have 2.5 days. Yeah, 2.5 days to grind it out in the way they'd like to, wouldn't they? Maybe. If the pitch flattens out a bit. I don't know. True. Who knows?
No, that's what makes
Should be fascinating.
Yeah.
It's all going to get underway the early hours. You have regular updates during Ben Fletcher's overnight show.
Dan will be loving it. He's a newly converted person to cricket, new cricket convert.
How can you not get wrapped up in the Ashes? We'll talk to Stan about that. All manner of other stuff. Harvey Barnes for Scotland among them. And lots more besides. Stan Collymore welcoming back the Premier League in a few moments' time. Just a reminder, Burnley, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Manchester United, Everton for the Falls panel. A little bit of news from Mikel Arteta's press conference. We were just chatting to Alex Finn. He has confirmed that Gabriel will be out for weeks after picking up that injury.
It's got to affect them from set plays. It's got to.
Yeah.
He's key from that. I mean, defensively, they might be able to replace him, but...
They have recruited well, and there's some depth in the squad. But, yeah, obviously a blow for them ahead of the North London derby. But Stan is up next.
Highlanders somehow in control at the end of day one in the Ashes. It looked to be the same old England as they were bowled out for just 172 runs, but they reduced Australia to 123 for 9, giving them a lead of 49 runs at the close of play. Elsewhere today, it happens to the best of us, but Cole Palmer's going to be missing the next 3 games after stubbing his little toe. And Zamoreska has given us this update.
Unfortunately, he had an accident at home 2 days ago. He hit his toe, but it's nothing important. But for sure, he's not back next week.
Palmer's been out with a groin injury since the end of September. Chelsea-Burnley is the early kick-off tomorrow, which is live and exclusive on talkSPORT. And Premier League clubs have voted against a spending cap, but they have voted for a new system of squad cost ratio, which means PSL will effectively no longer exist from next season. Clubs will only be able to spend 85% of their annual football revenue on players' wages and transfer fees. Here's talkSPORT's Alex Crook.
I'm told that Manchester United and Manchester City in particular were pushing for this. And you can understand why, because United may have not had a lot to shout about on the pitch in recent seasons, but they continue to be a very profitable organisation. So clearly 85% of their revenue is a lot bigger than, say, Bournemouth's.
Those new rules will come in at the start of next season. There's more at talksport.com.
Premier League, we've missed you. And it's about to heat up again. Are you ready for it? He's got a square ball for Neto, who rubs salt into the Wolves' wound. Burnley have just taken the lead, and it's Zian Fleming.
Chelsea looking like they're starting to become a little bit formidable. Man City going through the gears.
Oh, there we go. Jeremy Doku has just made it Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0.
Level of performance, don't look anywhere near it. Too many players not playing well.
Stands on the cross, Joe Linton! Back-to-back home victories for the Hammers.
He's got the people skills as well as all the defensive organisational skills to be a very good manager.
Probably the nicest game of the season to watch and to play.
Back out, whacked in beautifully by Zubamendi. What a finish!
It is one of English football's iconic fixtures.
First time shot takes a deflection, it's in, and Richarlison scores.
This is something that is in our hands.
Is it 4 o'clock?
So, is it 4 o'clock? Joining us now then as the Premier League returns, Stan Collymore joins us, former Liverpool and Villa striker. Good afternoon, Stan.
Paul, Andy, Andy will be really pleased. I was up till 4 o'clock as a new convert to cricket.
Wow.
I stayed up. I watched all the preamble, the national anthems, the welcome from the elders in the stadium. Doggett, Boland, Archer, loved it. Absolutely loved it. You wouldn't want to be a batsman out there, would you, at the minute?
No, it was great. It was great sport, certainly. Yeah. Now, Cole Palmer's broken his toe. You were that soldier, Stan. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, it sounds daft, but for a player, these are one of the worst injuries that you can get. So my story is really simple. March the 7th, I run every day, up to 19, 20 kilometres an hour. So at a fair clip. Dropped my water bottle on my little pinky toe on my right foot.
Ooh.
Thought nothing of it. Blew up. Went for an X-ray. It's cracked all the way through, which in adults it always does. In children, it can just partially crack through. But in adults, it always pretty much goes right the way through the bone. And it took until October. So I did everything that I was asked to do. Keep off it for a month. It'll be healed in 4 to 6 weeks. Went back, had the X-ray, hadn't quite healed, was cycling, I wasn't running. And it was till October, Paul and Andy. Now, it sounds daft, but you remember Gary Lineker all those years ago when he went to Japan, and one of the reasons why he quit eventually was because he did the same thing. I think he had a big toe that was broken. And you put in 6, 7, 8 times your body weight through, especially nowadays, a very, very flimsy plastic football boot. And for forwards, it's not like a central defender where you can just head it and kick it and probably get away with it if they jab it up a little bit with anaesthetise it, etc. Is that if you're Cole Palmer, picking the ball up, running with people, checking and turning. So when I saw the news about a couple of hours ago, it's like Cole Palmer fractures toe, stubbing it on the door. It's always one of those that people go, crikey, a bit of a laugh, bit of a joke. But he's only just started training. I don't think he may well have been training with the first team squad.
No, he was. He was going to play on Tuesday against Barcelona.
Yeah, so he's virtually back. But his bone, as a matter of fact, will not heal for 6 weeks. So let's say all the swelling goes down, but it's going to take 6 weeks. There's no way they're going to have him checking and turning on it. So he's going to be doing things like cycling, lots of upper body stuff. So you're looking at maybe January, and then he's got to get back to some kind of match fitness, game fitness and form. So having had the experience that I've had from March till October, I thought, doctor said it's going to be a month stand, everything's fine, it's all tracking fine, you're healing very well, former athlete, good bones, blah, 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 blah. Is that when we talk about these little niggly injuries, who was the Arsenal goalkeeper that dropped the iron on his toe all those years ago?
I know Dave Besson dropped some mayonnaise on his foot.
That was salad cream, wasn't it? That infamous.
Yeah,
I mean, with respect though, Stan, he's a bit younger than you, and I think you do heal a bit quicker when you're younger.
A bone takes 4 to 6 weeks to heal, whether it's you, whether it's Paul, whether it's Cobb. His bone won't heal any earlier.
4 to 6 years.
Yeah, and out.
The point I'm trying to make is from an England fan's perspective, is that if it's 4 to 6 weeks just to heal, there's going to be no fast track to healing. Is that then for a player that checks and turns and does lots of dynamic movement, again putting 6 to 8 to 10 times your body weight through it, watch this space to see whether he's fit by the next international break in March.
Oh, he will be, and he will be fresh. That's the thing. When he comes back, he's played a lot of football, that guy. So, right through summers to tournaments and the World Club.
It's good to hear you so glass half full. It's good. Andy.
He should play in Doc Martens. That'll solve the problem.
Are we going to? Yeah, okay.
Steel toe.
So, having insulted Stan for being old, you can disagree with him on this one as well, because you're going to talk up the worlds of international football, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Andy, but and most of my mates are very much the kind of, this is tripe. England are rolling over teams like Andorra. What's the point? It's punctuating us being able to travel to wherever they travel to as mostly Wolves fans, a couple of Villa fans in our WhatsApp group. And I kind of get it and I understand it, because it disrupts the flow and the rhythm of the bread and butter football. But when you watch the Troy Parrott goal, 5 goals over 2 games, the lift that lad's had. And, it's not been an easy road for him. Paul would know, obviously, being a Spurs fan. He's, gone out to Holland. All of the videos coming back from Ireland fans, from Bali to Dublin to New York to Boston to Sydney, and then seeing the Scots do likewise, and then having a situation where Steve McLaren, that we all know very well, expecting to take Jamaica to a World Cup, and Curaçao, that are effectively the Dutch sort of B or C team, all except for one were born in the Netherlands, and that's another debate for another day whether that's good for international football. But for me, it's why I go and watch England at home, and particularly why I go and watch England away, because I love Aston Villa, and Villa winning a Premier League, Villa winning a Champions League again in my lifetime. Unlikely, but it might happen. But to see England winning a World Cup or a Euros, particularly a World Cup, you're going to get 2, 3, 5, 6, 8 million people in Trafalgar Square. And I think that the Scotland and the Ireland, that just little bit of magic dust at the end of those games where they get into the playoffs and qualify respectively, I think is the essence, not just international football, but why we all love football. And I think that it's less likely now that those kind of miracles and stories happen in club football because it's all weighted with money, and international football is the last bastion of the magic of football, the magic of the cup.
Well,
not sold, Andy.
No,
yeah, he just upsets.
And what I would say is though that there were some fantastic moments in the start.
Yeah, no, there absolutely were. I do want to talk to you about Harvey Barnes. There's a story today of him apparently being asked a question, and he's not brought it up, but he was asked a question about could he switch allegiances to Scotland. I don't know whether this was asked before or after they qualified for a World Cup, and he said, of course, it's not off the table. He's only played a friendly for England. I just wonder about the dynamics of that with
the other players.
A squad that worked so hard to get to a tournament. He's a very good player, and I'm sure Steve Clarke would love him, but it's the dynamics, isn't it, of that?
And it opens up this debate about Curaçao. I remember many years ago, the Cayman Islands tried to get as many Premier League players. Julian Joachim was one that didn't quite, that hadn't got picked for any of the home nations, and they tried to circumvent FIFA rules. And Curaçao is a really interesting story. Great story. Lots of everybody except for Tae Chong that played for Man United was born in the Netherlands. And you say, well, it's great they've qualified, so that makes Curaçao football more popular, so more people on the island are going to play. But for me, it's really simple. I remember doing this with Saggers on a Monday night, Feist night. On the start of your first contract, you sign a ledger sheet that says, who do you want to play for? Who are the international teams that you can play for? And if it's England and Scotland, you write down 18 years of age, so you're of age, I want to play for England, and that's it, done and dusted. Because when you get into these situations, as Harvey Barnes may do, you just made a really good point, Paul. There are people that will have gone through the Scottish system, through the academy system, played the 17s, 19s, 21s, that might be biffed off for somebody that couldn't commit to the country up to date. So for me, it's really simple. Either 18 or 21 on your first contract, or at 21 years of age, you have to say, this is the country that I want to play for, and I'm going to stick to it whether I'm good enough or not. And that would sort out a lot of international football problems.
You could have played for Ireland, couldn't you? Didn't Big Jack come calling as well?
He did, but he didn't. It was just the word. It was just the name Collymore. He thought it was kind of like him and Morris Setters thought it was Irish enough to ask the question. The other one was Barbados, because my father is Bajan, but I'm English.
Yeah.
Born in England, bred in England, follow an English club, went to an English school, pay English taxes, follow England home and away. So if England played Barbados now, I'd want England to stuff them 10-0.
Well, I'd like to think they would. I mean, if they're losing 1-0...
Well, you never know these days.
No,
I mean, if Barbados went down the road of Curaçao, I'm sure there's plenty of Bayesian diaspora in and around the UK and around Europe that Barbados may qualify in years to come. Who knows?
We've got to talk about Semenyo, but I'll tell you what, we might do that within the body of the Falls panel. We'll get a chance.
Yes.
Ian Dancer's going to join us next. We're going to look at Burnley, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Manchester United, Everton, and try and predict the scores. That's coming up very shortly. We're here as always with Toolstation. Unmissable deals, of course. Great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation. So time to try and predict the scores of 3 big games this weekend, two of which you'll hear on talkSPORT exclusively. If we get them absolutely right, we'll get 3 points in the Falls panel table, which builds, of course, throughout the season. 1 point for getting the outcome right, nothing for getting it wrong. These are the standings after the international break. Andy Jacobs, 1 point for him. He stays bottom of the table on 14.
Impressing.
Another Andy, who's our caller, Newcastle fan, 1 point for him. He's on 16. 3 points for me. That moved me up to 21. Jim Proudfoot got 2 points. That moved them on to 22. But star performer of the week was SV Collymore. 5 points.
Oh, nice.
So he's well out front now on 27. So we'll come to stand in a minute, see if he can keep that incredible record up. Let's say hello first to Tony, the Spurs fan, who's our panel beater today. Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, chaps. How are we all?
Yeah, how are you feeling about Sunday?
Quietly confident.
Oh,
but
wow.
Very quietly.
Wow, yeah. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I'll try and feed off of that then. Ian Danter is our pro. Good afternoon, Dant.
Hello, chaps. All well?
Yeah, good. I was just looking at the pictures today of your new ground. Looks very impressive. Is it finished?
Give it 5 years, and it might be.
Does look good though. Does look great.
I'm going to try and rival Stan's background in the next few years. See if I can get my 12 chimneys into view.
Yeah.
Dance, just a quick question to Dance.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be filling St Andrews before you start thinking about doubling the capacity?
Okay, well, the answer to that question, without trying to be too trite about it, is when you think of the Football League Trophy final when we had 55,000 fans there and 12,000 fans that couldn't get tickets, that's a decent starting point. I know that there's a waiting list for season tickets at St Andrews at the moment, but you wouldn't expect to have 40, 50,000 at championship level. Let's see where the club is by the time this stadium is completed and ready to go.
Build it and they shall come.
I completely admire Tom Wagner and the Knight headboard for showing the ambition that we do. Stan knows full well West Midland football has not done anything like enough. Birmingham City are the only West Midland club to have won anything since the turn of the flipping century. That's dreadful.
Well, there we are. That was Ian from Birmingham. Thank you, caller. You've won the 100 quid's worth of vouchers.
Bad time.
Burnley-Chelsea kicks us off. Stan, what about this one? Tomorrow lunchtime, 12:30 on talkSPORT.
Yeah, straightforward Chelsea win for me. They've won the last 6 in a row at Turf Moor, and they've only won more in the Premier League competition over 30-odd years, away at Bolton and Sunderland. Burnley 0, Chelsea 2.
2-0. Okay, Dance, you're second up on this one. Burnley-Chelsea.
It's an away win for sure. I think it's 11 games without defeat for Chelsea against Burnley, home or away. 2-1, I'll say, to Chelsea.
Oh, 2-1. Okay, I've been a bit more bullish. I wonder if I should have been. I quite fancy your chances. I've gone 3-0. I think if it takes the wind out of the sails, if you get that first goal early, which I think you might have gone 3-0 Chelsea. It's Tony next, the Spurs fan. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I thought it was going to be a bit tighter than that. I was going to go 2-1, but I'll go 3-1 to Chelsea.
3-1, okay, there we are, finding a gap. And Andy.
I wouldn't listen to me. I'm so bottom of the table, even Rob Edwards wouldn't take over from me. That's how bad I am. Okay. I'm going 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1, okay, agreeing with Dance on that one. talkSPORT listeners home in the car. There we are. You'll be kept in touch with the North London derby on Sunday afternoon with Sam Matterface, Dean Ashton and Perry Groves. And if Arsenal win, there's no one I would rather hear from than Perry Groves. Stan, what do you reckon?
The Gunners have won 5 of the last 6 against Spurs, including the last 3 in a row. And quite incredibly, saw this stat, so I thought I'd really tell you. Arsenal have scored in their last 26 home games versus Spurs, so no shutouts at all by the Lily Whites at the Emirates. Arsenal 2, Spurs 0.
Oh, really?
Okay, Stan. What do you think, Dance?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the whole Gabriel thing, it throws everything a little bit out of kilter, doesn't it, as to how Arsenal readjust and whether Spurs have got enough in attacking areas to take advantage of that. I'll go the same score again. 2-1, but to the Arsenal this time, home win.
2-1 to Arsenal. Okay, I'm going to try and be optimistic. We've been better away from home. Looks like we've got a few boys fit. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. It's often been 1-1 over the years, so I'm going to go 1 each, which I would take now. Tony, what are you taking the draw?
Yes, I was going to go 8-0 to Spurs, but I'm going to go 2-0, I think.
2-2. Okay, yeah. And Andy, finally.
This is why I'm bottom of the table now, because you feel like I've got to do something different. I've got a sneaking feeling for Spurs in this game for some reason.
Right.
I'm going to go 1-0 to Tottenham.
1-0 to Stan. That's the shutout that Stan says never happened.
That's what records are there for.
Okay,
broken.
There we are. TalkSport
I've always liked Andy.
Yeah. TalkSport listeners home in the car.
Yeah.
And finally, Monday night, Manchester United versus Everton. We bring you exclusively live on TalkSport. Stan, what do you reckon?
Manchester United have won a whopping 42 games against Everton in the Premier League, and it's the most that one side has beaten another in the competition's history. Everton have won 1 of their last 12 against United, and of course Manchester United in very good form at home at Old Trafford this season. They've won their last 4 home games. The third 2-0 of the week. Manchester United 2, Everton 0.
2-0. Dance, what say you?
I don't know. This is the toughest one to call because, yes, United have certainly got better at home. I don't know, if a player like Iliman Ndiaye turns it on for Everton, then they could find themselves netting. But you look at Beto and you look at Tieno Barry and they just look bereft of the necessary confidence. I'll go on, I'll stick my neck out and go 2-2.
2-2, okay.
Yeah, I think Barry's a better bet than Beto. He looks more about him. 2-2.
And United were not particularly great against us the other week, but they are, Stan said, much better at home. And I think they have a little bit too much for Everton, but not much. I'm going to go 2-1 Manchester United. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I think this is going to be a thriller under the lights. And I'm going to say Everton 3, Man United 2.
Wow.
3-2.
Very bold. Oh, okay. What a game that'll be. I'll be tuning in to the boys on Monday night. And Andy, finally.
I'm going 3-1 to United. I think everybody says they're much better at home. They're much better. So there we go.
Dan, you're on commentary duty for us this weekend. Leicester versus Stoke. That's a game not on UK TV, on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow afternoon. And I see Mark Robins just signed a new deal. He's doing rather well there, isn't he, at Stoke?
Yeah, they've given him a 3.5-year extension. Him and all the coaching staff there at Stoke have had extensions. And Leicester, they've got these, PSR charges up against them next week. So it could be an interesting atmosphere because I know there's 3,000 Stokies heading to King Power tomorrow for our commentary, so it should be a terrific atmosphere.
Excellent. We look forward to hearing from you then. Cheers, Dan.
To do with the extensions.
Thank you, chaps.
All the best. Take care. Thank you. And enjoy the game, Tony. Let's hope we can come away with a point. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. And I just want to say I've been listening to you guys since day one, and you keep getting better. Keep up the good work.
Oh, really? That's very kind of you. Not on the payroll, we promise. And Stan doesn't agree after Andy called him old, so he's done with us. Cheers, Stan.
Thanks, Stan.
All the best. We'll catch up with you next week.
The Premier League and European Villa dance.
There we are. A little bit of a Midland skirmish there.
A bit of that, yeah.
So, just to let you know, the latest episode of the TalkSport Daily podcast is out now. Former Manchester United goalkeeper Ben Foster and Jeff Stelling dive headfirst into whether Senna Lamans is the safe pair of hands Manchester United have been crying out for. I think he's doing pretty well, don't you?
He looks pretty
solid.
Much better, yeah.
Plus, Ben counts down his top 5 best Premier League goalkeepers right now. So if you want to hear more, then the TalkSport Daily is available on all podcast platforms now. Well, coming up very shortly, you'll never guess. See if you can. I have a little quiz for you. An animal has just been named in the honour of an Ireland player at Dublin Zoo. It's a bird. That might give you a bit of a clue. Can you guess what it is?
That's really difficult.
Yeah. Plus, Todd Macklin clips of the week and all manner of other stuff. We'll hear from the managers, including Rob Edwards, Mikel Arteta, Thomas Frank, and lots more, all to come between now and 4 o'clock. Yeah, stick around for the clips of the week, and we're off to Dublin Zoo very shortly as well. But first, Tom Clayton has the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon. Premier League spending in future will not be tied to the revenue of the lowest earning clubs. Clubs have voted against so-called anchoring, so out will go PSR, in will come SRC from next season. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook explains briefly what the new rules will look like.
You can only spend 85% of your annual football revenue on things like player wages and transfer fees. Clubs will have a multi-year allowance of 30% they can use to spend in excess of the 85%.
Meanwhile, as club football returns from the international break, it's all eyes on one key return in the Midlands. Rob Edwards is back at Wolves after jumping ship from Middlesbrough. He says he couldn't turn down the opportunity. A nice and robotic Rob Edwards there. I'm sure we'll hear from him at some point later this afternoon. It's ChatGPT all over again. Cole Palmer will miss another 3 games for Chelsea after stubbing his toe. That includes tomorrow lunchtime's talkSPORT exclusive at Burnley. Elsewhere, Randall Colomwani will be fit for the North London derby on Sunday. Meanwhile, all of Havertz, Jesus, Madueke, Odegaard and Gyökeres could be close to an Arsenal return, but Mikel Arteta's confirmed Gabriel will be missing for weeks. Now, the Premier League will start a week later than usual next season due to the World Cup. We'll also get a normal Boxing Day of football. And somehow, the first Ashes test remains in England's hand. After being skittle for 172 in Perth, Ben Stokes took 5 wickets to put the Aussies at 123 for 9 on stumps on day 1. Bryden Carsh just about got his breath back in time to speak to the press.
Yeah, look, obviously an unbelievable day of Test cricket. I think everyone that came to watch today was thoroughly entertained.
Remember, you can head to the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel for today's Following On.
talkSPORT News.
The former leader of Reform UK in Wales has been jailed for making pro-Russian statements for money, and an Afghan national has admitted to raping a 12-year-old girl. More from the news team at 5:30.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Rain or shine, our mobile tyre fitting service comes to you, so you can stay on the sofa this winter. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
A cold but bright day for many. The sunshine turns increasingly hazy. Outbreaks of rain arriving from the northwest later on.
Autumn International's preview on talkSPORT with Funding Circle. Business finance that backs you. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
Yes, we're off to Dublin Zoo very shortly, but before that, we look ahead to the weekend's Autumn International action with Funding Circle. Here, talkSPORT's rugby correspondent Alfie Reynolds with everything you need to know ahead of England versus Argentina this weekend.
So England will finish their 2025 by hosting Argentina at Twickenham on Sunday. Steve Borthwick's side beat the All Blacks last weekend, but Argentina are a tough challenge. They regularly pick up big scalps and are a side that are continuing to improve.
Probably down to the fact that they've had a group of players that have been sort of in and around the squad for 4 or 5 years now. So they're very close as a team. They obviously go to rugby championship together. A lot of them meet up in London who are playing in sort of the London clubs. So I think the way that they've built their squad has been brilliant. And obviously, as you said, they've had some good wins and we know how dangerous they are.
That's the England winger Elliot Daly. He's one of 6 changes for England ahead of their final match of the year. England have won 10 matches in a row. Their only defeat in 2025 so far was against Ireland in Dublin at the start of the Six Nations. On Sunday, will they make that 11 in a row, or is it going to be a disappointing end to what has been a brilliant year?
Thank you very much, Alfie. Yeah, it's been some turnaround by England.
It has,
all looking a lot more optimistic. But for now, that was our look ahead to this weekend's Autumn International action with Funding Circle.
Autumn International's preview on talkSPORT with Funding Circle. We make your finance goals our business. Find out more at fundingcircle.com.
Now, of course, it was quite the international break for Ireland's Troy Parrott. 2 crucial goals and a hat-trick against Hungary, that last-minute winner that took them into the playoffs. And to honour at Troy, the good people at Dublin Zoo have named a parrot after Troy Parrott. Yeah, if you guessed that, well done. I've been teasing that all afternoon. Joining us now from Dublin Zoo, Diana Farrell. Good afternoon, Diana.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thanks. I suppose it made sense. It's spelt differently, Diana, but we'll let that go. How did you choose the parrot to become Troy Parrott?
I think just after Sunday, it was such a joyful moment, I think, for the whole nation. And with Troy playing that pivotal role, I think, in the hat-trick that he scored, we were trying to find quite a fit and a meaningful name, like we do for a lot of our animals. And because it is a species of parrot, it kind of just fell into place, if that makes sense.
It is a citron-crested cockatoo.
Of course it is.
Is the parrot in question. It didn't have a name before, so this is the first. You didn't change the name of the bird. It's the parrot. It wasn't something before Troy, I take it.
No. Like that, as I mentioned, we just kind of want fit and meaningful names, and like that, we just wanted to recognise, Troy in the way that we could, or the only way that we can, with us being a zoo. And like that, it just fell into place.
Beautiful. Has Troy acknowledged it? Have you heard what he's made of it?
Not Troy the parrot, obviously, although he is able to speak, I guess. We meant Troy Parrott, the person.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the animal or the person?
No, the person. I wonder is he gonna pop along? I know he has to play in Holland, but when he's next over in Dublin, I think you'd like him to come along and see his namesake cockatoo, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and I think we've got a lot of traction from this, so I'm hopeful his eyes have kind of took a bit of a glance at the story, and we're hopeful that he will come in. A lot of our keepers here are football fans, so it'll be really, really nice, to hear from the man himself.
If Troy's listening and he wants to bring a little snack for Troy, what does the citron-crested cockatoo mainly eat?
So it's mainly vegetables, but I will say if you want to kind of win over his heart, our parrot, I definitely would say figs.
Oh, figs.
Yeah.
I bet that's fun if you're clearing up afterwards, isn't it, really?
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Need a squeegee rather than a dustpan and brush, wouldn't you, I would imagine.
A scraper, more like a paint scraper.
You're having your lunch then.
So are you a specialist in this area, Diana, or do you kind of look after all the animals at the zoo?
So our citron-crested cockatoo are located over on my section of the zoo, which is which also has a variety of primates, so from great apes and small primates to carnivores. So I mainly work with the monkeys and our cockatoo, but I will jump on the carnivore section as well, yeah.
Fantastic.
Not a specialist by any means, yeah.
And did I read that, I don't know if you did this last weekend or this weekend, I don't want to get it wrong and cost you money, but is that right? The zoo are offering a discount to visitors wearing green at the weekend, is that right?
We're offering 50% off for anyone wearing green. If they want to pop in and definitely pop over to our cockatoo section, we are going to have a lot of volunteers over there who are going to, talk about our cockatoos. So I do think it would be really special if people pop along and say hello to Troy.
That's right. I mean, I think you're going to get a good turnout. I think people. I mean, it wasn't amazing. I don't know if you're a football fan, Dinah, but you said a lot of the other keepers are. But I mean, it just was an amazing moment, wasn't it? And the whole country. Yeah.
I think as well, we haven't got much joy. I think since Euro 2016. So it was just something that, boosted the whole nation. It hasn't been the best of years for the majority of us, with the pandemic and then kind of a lot of other things that are going on. So and as well, the football team, we haven't got much joy out of them. So this was definitely a very, very special moment, and I think we have high hopes going into playing the Czech Republic. I think if we play well, I think we can do a job there, and then possibly facing Denmark or Macedonia. So we'll just see what happens.
You said you've got a lot of traction from naming the cockatoo Troy, and of course the other thing leading up to a tournament are predictive animals. We had Paul the octopus. So if you could get Troy talking and saying things like 2-0. So that would be gold dust, I think, for the zoo if you could get him predicting scores.
Absolutely. Look, they're very clever animals and very trainable. So I mean, if you give us till March, we might have them speaking. You never know.
We'll speak to you then, Dinah. Good to talk to you. All the best.
Thanks so much, guys. See you later.
There we are. Dinah Farrell there from Dublin Zoo looks after Troy Parrott the parrot. Well done.
It's good.
You are listening to talkSPORT. Well done. I mean, since Richie McCaw, that's never really happened, does it? No. Really? That was probably the last time they did that in a New Zealand zoo. There must be a macaw called Richie. I mean, imagine if you've got a macaw and you live in New Zealand.
You would call it Richie.
You'd call it Richie, wouldn't you? I mean, get me bored with it, really. Anyway, we got clips of the week to come. Todd Macklin's going to join us. We normally do the crackpot stories with Troy. Nothing particularly crackpot today, although we have got somebody on the recently injured list from the world of the NFL, who got involved in a bit of a skirmish at Madison Square Garden the other day. Okay. Just caused a little bit of control. Anyway, we'll tell you more about that. And actually, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see how that all unfolded. So all manner of other stuff with Todd from the world of American sport. As we said, clips of the week, and we'll hear from some of the gaffers as well. That's all to come. We're here, as always, with our good friends at Toolstation. You can check out Toolstation's unmissable deals, great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation. It is time then to enter the world of American sport, as always at this time, with our man Todd Macklin. Good afternoon, Todd.
Hi, boys.
We had a game. We often reflect on the Thursday night game in the NFL. The Houston Texans beat Buffalo Bills 23-19. A little discussion point that came out of it. Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback, was sacked. It was a career high of 8 times sacked, as far as I understand it. He's been caught in possession of the football as a quarterback. Is that right, Andy? 2 or 3 blokes that land on you. Yeah, I mean, he took a bit of a beating. To be fair to him, it was a bit Benny Hill at times, which was him running backwards, but he would blame the guys in front of him. Not fun, as Harry understatedly called it, being wiped out 8 times. Lamar Jackson was saying to the Ravens that he was surprised in a press conference to find out he's been sacked 23 times in 7 games. It took 17 games last season for that to happen. The Titans player, Campbell, the rookie, 41 so far. So I was just wondering, are they up generally? And if so, why?
They are up. You've got the Denver Broncos chasing the NFL record for sacks by a team in a season. You've got Myles Garrett with 15 sacks already for the Cleveland Browns. He's chasing the single-season record for sacks. Why? You know what, Paul? There's never one reason. It's a number of reasons, right? It's the combination of rookie quarterbacks and young quarterbacks and inexperienced quarterbacks, because veteran guys have been hurt, like Lamar Jackson has been hurt. So you're getting, guys who just aren't as experienced. You've got, bad offensive lines in some cases that are causing more sacks. You've got a lack of good wide receivers, so they're not getting open. So the quarterback's hanging on to it longer. And, a lot of times quarterbacks hang on to it longer because they're just waiting for that chance to make a play. And, I think the very last thing is you are taught as a quarterback, you are better to take a sack than throw an interception. And I think that's what's happening. Hey, guys are saying, hey, I could try and make a play and put the ball up there, but an interception means you give up the ball. Sack means you just give up yards. You still got another chance. So that's a very long-winded answer to say there's so many reasons, Paul. And yes, sacks are up this year.
And one of the things that always impresses me, I was saying it to Andy the other week before we chatted about this, they're kind of so zen quarterbacks, considering all the mayhem that's going on around them. They always look like they've got that little bit more time, like a Platini or someone in football. And you think, how can they be that calm in that moment when any minute 3 or 4 people come and wipe them out?
Is good at that.
So that could affect, I don't know, that could affect that. I always think maybe, if more and more are being wiped out, maybe there'll be that bit more urgency.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, you just mentioned it before there, especially the veteran guys, they think they can make a play, right? They think, because you can watch the quarterback, right? And they're going through their reads, which is right on a single play. There's, hey, this is where we'd like to go. If that's covered, what's plan B? What's plan C? And you can see quarterbacks going through plan A, B, and C. And sometimes, depending on the play, they got to go through D and E too, right? If the play's still going on. But yeah, listen, the defenses love it, right? That's the one thing you love is to get a shot at the quarterback and to hit the quarterback. Yeah.
Now you could see the relish. I was watching the highlights of last night, and they were enjoying it. Certainly the Texans players. The overseas games, which we love, certainly in the UK and Ireland had a game this year, but they're looking to extend it even more. They're talking about the new camp. Obviously, they're going to be off to Australia next year. Again, New Orleans Saints are probably going to play in Paris because of the kind of French connections to from the city to France and stuff. So I just wonder what the kind of critical mass is. When will NFL fans start sort of crying foul and saying, hang on, this is our game?
They haven't yet. I mean, I haven't heard a big outcry, Paul, about the individual markets, right? Because that's what happens is it's a home game. You give up a home game for the game to be played overseas, wherever it is. I haven't heard a great outcry. Everything has been positive. The NFL released some viewing figures and audience TV audience numbers have gone through the roof this year with the overseas games. Yeah, like you mentioned, the places are going to, Abu Dhabi, I've heard in the mix. I've heard Asia in the mix. So I don't think they're stopping anytime soon, because I just think it's been a success. And this year, right, they've been in some big stadiums. You mentioned the new camp. Like, they're going into some really big soccer stadiums. And again, that is causing a lot of interest in these international games.
Maybe the key is to keep going to different places, because I spoke to some Bills fans when they went to a game at Tottenham, and they said, we just made a holiday of it. It's great. But after a while, you might just get London fatigue. It's like, right, we've done London. Where are we going next? So if it is...
Well, it's different teams as well. But they might draw the line at an overseas Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think, will that ever happen, Todd?
Yeah, you guys, that's a great point, right? It felt like the overseas Super Bowl, I don't know, felt like a possibility 2-3 years ago, and it feels less likely now.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because they're going to more places and doing the regular season games to more places. But I think Andy's right. Like, I do think, feels like the Super Bowl is off the table, but these, regular season games in different markets are increasing.
Now, LeBron James returned to the NFL for the Lakers. He had this sciatic nerve issue on his right side, and so he missed the first 14 games of the regular season. But he's back now, and it's like he'd never been away. He looked pretty good again, didn't he, Todd?
I thought he looked great. First player, guys, ever to play in 23 NBA seasons. So another of the longevity records for LeBron. But you're right. Thought he played great. He played 30 minutes. Listen, LeBron is not playing 40 minutes anymore, right? Like, he's not doing the heavy lifting. Luka Doncic does the heavy lifting for the Lakers. And LeBron, I think, listen, the guy still plays at such a high level. He had 12 assists on Tuesday night against Utah, made just so many great passes. And the good news for him is they played Tuesday. They're off until Sunday. So it gave him a lot of time to recuperate and be ready to go for the Lakers. Listen, the Western Conference is stacked, and the Lakers are one of those teams in the mix.
The downside from a family point of view is that his son Bronny had stepped up in his absence, but now he's back. They've got to find room in the team, so he's gone back to the G League, the backup team, the South Bay Lakers. So not great for his boy.
No, that's true.
Yeah, but you know what? Bronny gets it. Like, he gets what this is about. Yeah. And listen, it's just part of the deal. And he knew, most of his career, those first 2-3 seasons are going to be spent in the G League.
Now, finally, we spoke about this guy a little bit earlier in the season, because he went on TV with a teammate and ripped his shirt off and did a kind of chest bump after a Giants win. He's a running back, Cam Scatterboo. He's quite the character. Then he got a really
name, isn't it?
A really bad injury, which is going to keep him out for the rest of the season. It was a dislocated ankle, a really bad one. So it wasn't that long ago. It was a season ender. But he went along to the wrestling Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden the other night and got involved with Dominic Mysterio, which I'm guessing isn't his real name, the wrestler. And a bit of pushing and shoving went on. And he's had a little bit of heat from Giants fans and one or two
I know
journalists.
the Mysterios. They're very nice family.
Elsie and John Mysterio.
That's right, them.
They're lovely. I remember them. Yeah, Hampstead Garden Suburb. They had a little place there, didn't they? Lovely family, the Mysterios. Never went into magic, any of them, strangely, isn't it?
Strange.
Yeah. But, so he's taken a bit of heat. But he said, look, it's been a bad time for me. Just a little bit of light relief. And it is wrestling, for goodness sake. It's sports entertainment, so I'm sure everybody made sure he was okay.
Thank you, Paul, for reminding Giants fans that you're right. Wrestling isn't real, right? Like, it is sports and entertainment. I think that just goes to New York fans. They're so vocal. And the Giants have had another bad year. So they're just angry, and they're just going to complain about something. So they're going to complain about a guy who's hurt, involved in not real wrestling. I think that's really what it is.
Well, good stuff, Todd. We will catch up with you next week. Thanks very much.
See you, boys.
There we are. There's Tom Macklin, a man on American sports. You're right across the world of American sports, of course, at talksport.com. Go and check it out. We cover all the major American sports with a special focus on American football. We bring you lots of live commentaries, of course, throughout the season. So still to come this afternoon, we'll have some clips of the week. We will hear from the managers ahead of the weekend's big games. Our coverage kicks off tomorrow lunchtime. Burnley versus Chelsea. We bring you in on Monday night. Manchester United, Everton. Around that, lots of commentaries from the Championship and beyond. So lots going on, as always. We'll run through some of the other games and what's going on, including a Sheffield derby on Sunday, which will be interesting at Hillsborough. But we'll bring you the clips next.
England is somehow in control at the end of day one in the Ashes. It looked to be the same old England as they were bowled out for just 172 runs, but they reduced Australia to 123 for 9, giving them a lead of 49 runs at the close of play. Elsewhere today, it happens to the best of us, but Cole Palmer's going to be missing the next 3 games after stubbing his little toe. And Zamoreska has given us this update.
Unfortunately, he had an accident at home 2 days ago. He also hit his toe, but it's nothing important. But for sure, he's not back next week.
Palmer's been out with a groin injury since the end of September. Chelsea-Burnley is the early kick-off tomorrow, which is live and exclusive on talkSPORT. And Premier League clubs have voted against a spending cap, but they have voted for a new system of squad cost ratio, which means PSR will effectively no longer exist from next season. Clubs will only be able to spend 85% of their annual football revenue on players' wages and transfer fees. Here's talkSPORT's Alex Crook.
I'm told that Manchester United and Manchester City in particular were pushing for this. And you can understand why, because United may have not had a lot to shout about on the pitch in recent seasons, but they continue to be a very profitable organisation. So clearly 85% of their revenue is a lot bigger than, say, Bournemouth's.
Those new rules will come in at the start of next season. There's more at talksport.com.
Of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Proudly behind the trades that work so hard for the nation. Next stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT clips of the week. Yes, time once again for the clips of the week with Toolstation. We've got a select 10 for you today. As we always say, we can't make them up, but we're quite pleased with the ones that we bring you today. So why don't I kick us off with Breakfast Jeff Stelling reflecting on Ireland's win over Hungary with former Republic winger Stephen Hunt.
Well, it was miraculous, wasn't it? I mean, there's no other word for it.
Yeah, it was amazing, right?
Well, apparently there is.
There we go.
There is more than one word for it, Jeff, as Steve just proved.
And staying with breakfast, this was boxing expert Gareth A. Davis drawing a shock admission out of Gabby Agbon-Lahore.
That he wins a world title. If he does, that's great for his legacy, but he's a big name now.
Gareth, I fought Dave Allen on your show.
Really?
Blimey, I thought we'd heard about that.
I know, it's like Jake Paul versus Joshua. Tremendous fight.
Would have been on the boxing YouTube channel, surely. Agbon-Lahore versus Allen, that would have been great. Anyway, this is a call at a drive.
Hello, Keith.
Hello, mate. You right?
Keith, why are you called Keith?
Oh, there we are. Maybe he doesn't want to let on the sinister nature of why he's called
his
Keith.
parents called him Keith, I'd imagine.
Well, no, I mean, I put the phone down. It's like, well, I'm not going there. You can only imagine what the backstory is of why he's called Keith. Leave it, Andy. Anyway.
Who knows? Back to breakfast, and Anna Brazil had a great anecdote for Ray Parlour.
They'd been in the headlines a few days ago, the Falkland Islands.
Yeah.
And I was co-commentating. I was out there and I went down the harbour. There's this boat coming from Aberdeen with a Tartan Army on it. And if you'd have seen them getting off this boat. And
probably a few got off
because the Falklands,
early.
Is right. Sorry, not the Falklands, Faroes.
Oh, I see. Okay. Just a slight difference.
I mean, that's a hell of a boat.
Miles.
Imagine how drunk they would have been getting off from Aberdeen to the Falklands on a boat. That's a trip and a half. Isn't it? The Faroes is pretty good. But it's great. I'm thinking, wow, did Scotland play Port Stanley in the World Cup qualifier? They probably lost to them, but then beat Brazil.
Yeah.
Also this week on White and Jordan, Simon auditioned for the role of the terms and conditions apply man that you hear at the end of every advert.
It's nice that he covers it in the idea that Morgan Rogers is waiting to come on and has been disappointed all week because he's wanted to start in the starting lineup as well.
Terms and conditions apply. Yeah, I think he's going to get it, don't you?
I think he might.
He's got every chance.
This is Madge and Pards now with Alan discussing Kane and Bellingham.
Because you want your good players feeling good, don't you?
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Harry's going back all happy as Larry, and he's, breaking every record under the rule book, and Bellingham's going home with
Well, there we are.
Every record under the rule book.
Record under the rule book. He got a bit cockney there, Al. More cockney, didn't he?
Yes, he did, really.
Pard's getting his words a bit mixed up there, but not quite as much as Alan Brazil did here.
Let's get more on the right. Don't forget today. There's loads coming up. Today's episode, talkSPORT Scotland reporter Paul Mitchell he's going to join Ollie Klink following that dramatic last gas win. God, a dry mouth.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's
Doesn't normally have a dry mouth out, does he?
I expect him to go. That's all, folks.
Only there was one way that Al could moisten his mouth.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So what's next, Andy?
It's a caller to Jim White, also talking about Jude Bellingham.
The media apparently hate that they can't get to Bellingham. Honestly?
I reckon it rattled him, personally.
I mean, it's quite odd. We've now got callers who use a word, then have the sound effect to go off.
Very good.
It was a rattle. Can we hear that again? It was. I think he's rattled him. That's marvellous. And finally, Andy, why don't you give us the final one?
It's this week's Carry On talkSPORT featuring badminton.
Yeah, no, it's not just featuring badminton. The line's gone off the bottom. Featuring
badminton's Gail Ems, I guess.
Badminton's Gail Ems, yeah, that's right.
I play pickleball now. I've gone even geekier.
Right.
So I laugh. I've gone from smashing cocks to whacking balls.
Thinks she knew what she was doing there, Gail.
Definitely.
Featuring badminton. Sorry, went off the bottom of the page. Sorry for the confusion there. We should thank Sean Fackrell, Lynn Barrington, Stephen Hull, not Stephen Hull, Wayne Sean. Official Nick, David Clark.
Wayne Sean.
Yeah, for the Rugby League fans. David Clark, Paul from Portsmouth, Michael Fawcett, and Barry Bryce. They all suggested clips that were played this week. So if you hear a clip on talkSPORT this week, please do send it in to us. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J. As always, we need a day and a time when you heard the clip go out. So we've got a fighting chance to track it down. And if it's played, you'll get a credit. If you want to listen to those clips of the week again, and indeed lots of previous clips of the week, you can find them wherever you get your podcasts, the talkSPORT Clips of the Week podcast. Also, we have the H&J Daily podcast, which is the best bits of this afternoon's show. If you missed some of the early stages of the show, you missed a really interesting chat with a good friend of ours who's been on before. It's his third book, and he writes them all himself. It's Mick Rathbone, former Blackburn Rovers and Birmingham City player, turned physio for Everton for many years, and he gave us a real insight into life as a physio, often down in the lower reaches of the leagues, down in League Two, not just at the top. We brought you that, and we found out more about Troy the Parrot, who has been named at Dublin Zoo from Diana, who looks after him. So anyway, that and a whole lot more on the H&J Daily podcast. But for now, that was the Clips of the Week with Toolstation.
Clips of the Week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Proudly behind the trades that work so hard for the nation. Next stop, Toolstation.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Here we go then. Time for today's bet builder with our friends at Paddy Power. We welcome Lewis Richards. We're going to look forward to, you say look forward, for some people maybe, not for me. Sunday. Well, win or lose, it's triggering. It takes me back to school going in on a Monday after we lost. You
might win though.
Well, I know we might. That's the jeopardy, but I could do without it. Anyway, Arsenal play Spurs at the Emirates. Lewis, good afternoon.
Oh, I love your confidence. Might win. Might win. Love that confidence.
Even if we're in the ascendancy and they're not playing great, there's always that danger. You're going to be embarrassed when I go into school on Monday, or in this case, work. We're surrounded by gooners, of course, aren't we, Andy?
It's true.
Most of the production team are Arsenal, which doesn't make it easy. But anyway, Lewis, who's your team, by the way?
I'm a Liverpool fan, so we're going through it. WhatsApp groups are all against me at the moment.
Oh, yes.
We've had better times.
Well, yeah, they'll bounce back, I'm sure. So anyway, tell us how the bet builder works.
Yep, so for anyone new to a bet builder, just think of it as your classic hacker. But instead of picking different teams all to win in one bet, you're picking different outcomes in the same game. And if they all come in, lovely win for your bet builder.
Let's hope so.
nice.
I'm going to go both teams to score to kick us off.
Great price for a North London derby, 11 to 10. And it's clicked 6 times in the previous 10 fixtures. So Spurs, as you probably know, they've conceded and scored a goal in 4 of their last 5. Arsenal have been tight up. It's just been an international break and they've got a big injury to defence now. So 11 to 10 looks really nice.
Andy, you've gone corners, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's Arsenal's main way of scoring, and I think they'll get quite a few. So I've gone over 4 corners for Arsenal.
Yeah, you've gone very safe here at 1 to 20.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, I should have gone a bit higher there.
It's not bad. If it's the only winning selection, you can brag that you've got the only winning selection. But yeah, 75 corners this season from 11 games. It's working out around 6.5 corners per game. So 4 or more should be very safe.
Arsenal supporting producer Sean has gone for Bukayo Saka to score any time.
Yeah, 8 to 5, 2 goals in his last 5 appearances in the Premier League, but he's currently on the run. I think it's 3 goals in 4 games for club and country, so 13 to 8, anytime goal. If you're thinking Arsenal are going to do a job as well, you can do a lot worse than looking at Saka to score, that's for sure.
Well, the Paddy Power punters so far do favour the Arsenal win. That's one of the more popular bets, isn't it?
It's very short as well at 4 to 11, but you know, I do have to like it. They dropped points there against Sunderland, but I think they're really going to want to bounce back. And so I think Spurs at the moment is a great opponent for them. They're not in the greatest place. I think you've only got 3 wins in your last 10. Some really dodgy results in there, most notably with that draw against Wolves. And then when you look back at the history of the fixture over the last 6, Arsenal 5 wins and 1 draw. So very hard to go against Arsenal, I'm afraid.
Better away from home, but we shall see. And I'm not going to put you off your selection either, Lewis. Tell us what it is.
Well, I've cheated because I like the people selection so much that I've gone for another one of theirs, of Romero to get a card, and a very nice odds at 12 to 5. I think Spurs are in for a really rough afternoon. Romero's on 4 bookings already this season, the most out of any Spurs player. So another one.
You have seen Spurs play away from home this season. You don't
Do you know
seem
what?
to have done.
I quite like you before we kick this off, Lewis, but it's all gone pear-shaped.
Nonsense.
Apologies for that. I apologise.
So what are we looking at then overall?
We're looking at bang on about 20 to 1. So it's a total of £200 to the Attitude Foundation if we can get this in.
Okay, well, have a good weekend. Thanks, Lewis. All the best.
And yourself, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. Bye-bye.
There we are. This Lewis Richards there from Paddy Power. That's Paddy's bet builder for today. Minimum odds 1 to 5 per leg. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Some interesting stuff emerging from the press conferences today, and we'll round up some of the best moments for you very, very shortly as the Premier League returns. Just a reminder that our first Premier League commentary is tomorrow lunchtime from Turf Moor. Burnley take on Chelsea. That's our game day live match at 12:30 tomorrow. All manner of other live football throughout the weekend, but that's what kicks us off tomorrow at 12:30. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. You can check out Toolstation's unmissable deals, great offers on hundreds of trade brands. Next stop, Toolstation. I can't quite believe what Andy just told me. We've just seen this amazing day of cricket where we virtually see two teams bowled out. But what's happening, Andy?
This bloke on X went 71.5 overs bowled today out of a minimum of 88. So I said to him, yes, so important as the cricket was actually so boring, wasn't it? Honestly.
How can you feel shortchanged after watching that? That is quite staggering. Didn't get all of our own.
And also, if you've got 5 fast bowlers, you're not going to get 90 overs.
Of course
you're
not. Absolutely not. Anyway, yes, tomorrow we have the following on podcast after day 2's play with Steve Harmison, John Norman and the gang. So go and check that out. Anyway, let's hear from some of the managers before we hand over to Andy and Benty with Drive today. Wolves manager Rob Edwards has been chatting about leaving Borough. He just felt he couldn't turn down that chance to manage his old club.
I was in a great job at Middlesbrough. I know that, with really good people, very good players, and we'd done well. The lads had done well. And everyone that I was working with had done well as well, so I'm aware of it. But this was something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I didn't know if this job would ever come up again for me. The opportunity might never, ever come up for me to be able to be the head coach of this club. I didn't want to ever look back in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years and think I turned down a chance to manage Wolves in the Premier League. That's it.
We did sort of say that at the time. You know, these jobs don't come up well, they do actually. They come up more often than you think.
Yeah, but you know, what's he going to do his career if they go straight down? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I suppose he feels the effect and he wants to keep them up. He's got skin in the game.
Yeah.
But when you look at Borough,
if he does keep them up, that would be brilliant. Absolutely.
Borough second at the moment in the Championship. Anyway, big call. Best of luck to him. The Premier League, of course, is back this weekend. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola was asked whether he prefers a longer international break instead of mini ones during the season.
For me, the breaks are, I would say personally, for me, the breaks, I like it, take a break. So I love my job, but have take a time to breathe. Like now it's not going to happen, so it's good. And I don't know, maybe more and after longer time to make will be good too. We adapt in the World Cup, we in winter time. So whatever they decide, the big brains in the world football will do it.
Yeah, it's all right for him. He's not. What about the players?
Yeah,
they don't get a break, do they?
They don't really get a break. I mean, he gets him. I mean, it's a chance. He's such an intense manager. He probably needs a chance to.
Yeah, it's true.
Recharge the batteries. Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea coach, confirmed that Cole Palmer will miss the club's upcoming fixtures against Barcelona.
So annoying.
And he's desperately clinging on to the fact they're going to make him a special boot. Is this right?
Yeah, but we still won't be fit for those games.
Yeah, he's going to miss the games against Barcelona and Arsenal after
Stan doesn't think he'll be back till March.
No, Stan was very down on it, and he took that well, as you can imagine. Anyway, check out the podcast to hear that exchange. A freak injury at home. This is the manager.
Is probably not available for tomorrow for sure, Barcelona for sure, Arsenal for sure. Unfortunately, he had an accident at home 2 days ago, and his toe, yeah, and it's nothing important, but for sure he's not back next week. Yeah, but it can happen. I wake up many times during the night, to go to the toilet, and I hit my head, my leg, my everything, so it can happen.
Blimey, bit clumsy. It's not a very low ceiling.
Even I don't do that. And I get up plenty of times.
Count Arthur Strong, mind that light. There we are. Clumsy old Enzo. Liverpool take on Forest tomorrow afternoon, and Liverpool boss Arne Slot was asked if they're thinking about being in the title race.
No, I think I've said many times already that at this moment of time, we're not even thinking or talking about it. Actually, we didn't do this last season as well when we were top of the league. It's just about the next game. And I've said many times last season, and I say this season again as well, the best way to judge a league table is after 38 games, but the next best thing, in my opinion, is after 19 games. And let's see where we are then. But at this moment of time, the only focus we have is winning games of football, which it was actually the same last season at this moment of time.
There we are. Are you going to rule them out?
No, we can't rule anybody out this time. It's too early. It's miles too early. You go on a good run, another team slips up, and like I say, Arsenal could draw the next two games, then it could look different. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Arsenal look like they're going to win it, but it's not done yet.
Well, talking of Arsenal, they take on Spurs on Sunday. Thomas Frank is his first North London derby in charge of Spurs, and he realises the huge significance for Tottenham's season.
Yeah, this is the real one. Super excited. Of course, before I stepped into the club, of course, I knew about the North London derby, but it's when you are in it, you sense it and feel that this is important. You feel from the fans, you feel from the staff members, the players, the people that's been working here for years. This is the big one. I always say the next one is the next game is the most important game, and we'll always have that. But I'm very, very, very aware there's 2 games in a year that's even more important, and this is the first of them. And we're ready. We're up for it. We are looking forward to it, and we'll do everything we can to win.
There we are. That's Thomas
It
Frank.
is the next game.
Well, it is. I mean, I think it is last time. Let's going to squeeze one in Saturday evening. Anyway, it's a bit of a different take. It's quite interesting. Mikel Arteta was asked about Wayne Rooney's comments, saying Victor Gyökeres is among the best 3 players he's seen this season. This was
effective.
This was Arteta's reply.
Well, I'm really glad that this is coming from someone like Wayne, his experience and the kind of player that he was. I'm sure it then is not just related to the goals that he has scored, but the contribution to the team number 9 can do, and the impact that Victor has in our team, his work rate, and the way he opens the spaces for other people, the time that he generates for us, and then as well the level of threat that he's brought to the team, which is magnificent. So really happy to hear that.
Yeah, they'll play very differently if he starts to the way that with Marino.
Is he fit for Sunday?
He probably might be on the bench, or he might start. I don't know how fit he is, but he said there's a few of them fit. I would imagine
he makes a
Madueke will be on the
difference,
bench.
really.
Oh, no, he does. He fundamentally changes the way they play up top. But so we shall see. Myself and Danny Kelly will either be in foul moods or good moods on Monday. We're going to kick off with Chelsea's Andy's mob, of course, Burnley taking on Chelsea. That's our Game Day Live match from 12:30 tomorrow. We're right across all the football for you this weekend and more as the Premier League returns. And I'm sure building up to that next will be Andy Goldstein and Darren Bentwood Drive. We'll see you on Monday for all the fallout. Have a good weekend.